To me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Good morning, Friday, freedom lovers. Good morning, Kenny Williams.
How you doing, you freedom fighter, Vic?
Fat. Get fat in there for more alliteration. Fat,
right.
freedom fighter. Big show today. It's Friday, of course. Kenneth Rapoza, we're going to have him on in just a second to talk about NVIDIA teaming up with Donald Trump, which I love the whole sound of that. We'll talk to Kenneth about that in just a second. The Commander, Larry Connors, coming in at 9:25. Larry, I think, is going to be playing in that poker tournament coming to Hollywood this week.
Oh, nice.
You know what, Ken? I am so surprised that Harry Enton has a job at CNN.
I'm glad.
We're going to hear from him at 9:25, and I have an observation I made about it last night, something that we talked about yesterday. Susie Moore from redstate.com. She's the deputy managing editor. What are you watching at 10:25? Miller time at 10:41 with the great Stephen Miller. Patrick Tuohey from the Show Me Institute. This Mom Donnie, running for mayor in New York City, wants to have grocery stores in New York, like the Sunfresh grocery store in Kansas City, which went under.
Yeah.
So we'll talk to Patrick Tuohey about that. Chat box and wheel of audio clips. All right. Our first guest is Kenneth Rapoza from he's an analyst for the Coalition for a Prosperous America. Kenneth Rapoza sounds Italian. Is that Italian? You Italian?
Portuguese.
Oh, good enough. That's very close. So listen, every morning we start the show with the Pledge of Allegiance. I've been told you will lead us. Is that true?
I guess so. I hope I don't. I long enough to sing it.
No singing allowed. Just regular Pledge of Allegiance. Go ahead.
Okay, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to this republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Fantastic.
How's that?
Thanks. Perfect.
All right. I even did it with my Massachusetts accent because, that was like a real patriot sound right there.
Yeah.
I added that.
I kind of noticed that. I kind of noticed that from you.
Hold on.
We're the real patriots.
Everybody hold on here. Does that mean you're a Red Sox fan?
Well, I am, but I'm actually more of a Padres fan. How's that?
That's fine, as long as it's not the Red Sox.
Good.
We don't like the Red Sox. Well, I don't like the Red Sox. Okay. Anyway, on to you. So you're gonna have to educate me on some of this stuff, Kenneth, because I'm not quite sure what AI does besides make funny videos on X. But so the president and NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang partnering up, right, to give the United States government a portion of its revenue from selling computer chips to China. First of all, why are we helping China?
Look, NVIDIA, AMD, that's another big chip maker. They have agreed, apparently, and again, we don't know because things in Washington under Trump changed very quickly. What I'm about to tell you could no longer be true or could change tomorrow.
Right.
But they agreed to give the IRS 15% of the revenue of their China sales. And that is sort of a message of goodwill of saying, we want access to the China market, and here's how much we're willing to pay for it. And so this has been a huge sticking point in the China trade imbroglio, right, that we're dealing with here. We have the China trade truce, right, until November. Now that's been extended. That was supposed to change earlier this week. There was going to be a change in how the tariffs are going to be imposed, but now no decision is going to be made on that until November. And a big portion of that is because China wants these chips. They're getting them, not the top end, but don't need the top end. That's a long conversation.
Yeah.
But the United States needs rare earth minerals, and that is stuff that you only get from China. Not only do they dig it out of the ground, but they smash it into powder that gets used to make things like gyroscopes for fighter jets and all these other items that we use every day, like EVs, for example. EV batteries, for example, might use some of those materials as well. So the U.S. needs rare earths, apparently, more than they're interested in stopping China from becoming an AI powerhouse that will rival the U.S.
They are our main competitor in AI, aren't they?
Absolutely. Yes. And it's interesting to think about it, because where is Europe on that? I mean, does Europe even make anything? I mean, I guess they could do Eurovision. That's the best thing they do there now. But
that's so funny.
Yes, China is definitely the main competitor. And let me just tell you this. we've had export restrictions on these super chips going to China under Trump and including under Biden. But yet, if you recall, early this year and late last year, this AI platform you never heard of called DeepSeek came out of nowhere, apparently, built by this hedge fund no one outside of Hong Kong or Shanghai has ever heard of. And it was lauded by U.S. tech giants like Mark Andreessen, who said, this thing is incredible. It says almost an open AI killer. OpenAI are the guys behind ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
And they did this, mind you, without having access to the best of the best chips. And to put that in layman's terms, it's like this. I'm talking to you, let's say, on an iPhone 7. The newest iPhone is an iPhone 11. But you would not know that I'm not on an iPhone 11. I'm still talking to you on a cell phone. I'm still talking on a phone.
Right.
Even though I have the older model, it still does the same thing your 11 does.
Right.
So that's what happened. China didn't need access to the best of the best to build what was a rival to American AI platforms.
So what's a bigger monster, DeepSeek or NVIDIA?
Oh, NVIDIA. NVIDIA is a bigger monster.
That's good.
Yeah,
I don't
NVIDIA is definitely a bigger monster.
Here's my problem. Okay. I consider China the enemy, and I've been saying this for 4 years. This radio station has been in existence for only 4 years. For those entire 4 years, I've been saying, why does China, our enemy, make our antibiotics and put drugs into pills so that if we have a war against China, they can put poison in the pills? So why do we help them at all, I guess is my question. And I get it. The rare earth materials, we need it. But can we trust them?
Well, I think overall there has been, look, China has a huge private market, right? And of course, state companies are big in China as well, but they have a huge private market and those businesses are state of the art. But to answer your question, keep in mind that China was not even considered a rival realistically to the United States until Trump was president in 2017. There was some worry about it, but prior to that, when you read things like the Director of National Intelligence and what was the big scary thing that would hurt America someday, it was ISIS, it was Al-Qaeda, it might have been the Russians, or it might have been climate change. Now those reports are all China front and center. But until recently, in 2017, isn't light years ago, China was not really a problem because the American multinationals were very happy with doing business in China. And American banks like Goldman and JP Morgan were focused on making sure they could set up shop and sell securities to the Chinese without having to partner with the Chinese company. And they wanted to make sure that they had Beijing on their side so they weren't punished and that they could do just that. And they got it. They got it, by the way. So why is China selling antibiotics or whatever else you mentioned? It's because American companies made it happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned, Donald Trump, very aware of China, now very aware of China. In between there, the disastrous Joe Biden administration, when on the campaign trail, Joe Biden said, talking to somebody right into the camera, said, come on, you think China's going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. I mean, talk about being disconnected from what's really going on.
China is definitely going to eat your lunch. Let me give you a simple example, right? So we were talking about DeepSeek earlier. So let's just think of in simple business terms. You and I have an AI platform. You and I, we created OpenAI. We're going to sell it to companies and individuals for $20 to $200 a month. No one can compete with us. Certainly the Europeans can't. They have nothing like it.
Mm-hmm.
Our only rival is China. They're not. They're too far behind. All of a sudden, DeepSeek comes out of nowhere, and they can make the same thing. But see, then you think they're going to charge the Brazilians and the Mexicans and the Europeans and the Saudis $200 a month that we charge, or are they going to charge them $50 a month? So we lost market. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is how it happens. Like Americans often think like, well, we're protecting our own market. We want to make sure we could make things to sell to the American consumer because of course, the American consumer is the biggest and baddest of all. But on the world stage, this is where China really competes with the United States. And, American multinationals have wanted that coveted access to the Asian market led by China. And now that's something that in the future, very near future, especially in emerging technology, that the Chinese are going to rival the West, led by the United States in that market. And this is, I don't really know how the U.S. stops that.
We're talking to Kenneth Rapoza, analyst for the Coalition for a Prosperous America. Kenneth, you mentioned that China just came out of nowhere with this new technology, this new AI. And then, in my opinion, when I heard that, immediately I thought, well, China is a master at reconstruction. They don't create so much, but they deconstruct and then they reconstruct already technology that's already existing, like in America. So what are your thoughts on that? Is it possible that maybe some spies that we've talked about for the last 4 years took that technology and now they have it in China?
Good question.
Great
But
question.
but focusing on DeepSeek, the hedge fund, I can't think of the name of the hedge fund off the top of my head at the moment, but this hedge fund, what they did was they would buy NVIDIA chips and they were going to build a supercomputer. Think about AI as a supercomputer, right? So instead of something that might take 5 seconds, it takes hundredths of a second to compute, right? And so they would buy all these chips from NVIDIA. I believe they bought the chips pre-ban, okay? And they were going to just build a system that could do algorithmic trading of stocks. That's what they were doing. And then they said, hey, let's build this, open AI type competitor. Then they went from there. But again, like you said, it's a copy, right? They're just copying what the U.S. already invented. They do the same thing in space technology, right? They're copying Starlink. That's what they do. I don't know if China is ever going to be an innovator like the United States is. Maybe they don't need to be, though, guys. Maybe they don't need to be. Maybe they just need to copy, right? I mean, it's like, hey, somebody invented McDonald's. Now we have Burger King and Wendy's and everything else. So you don't have to necessarily be the guy who invents McDonald's, but you can be the guy who comes up with Burger King and Wendy's and do very well for yourself. And that's what China has done successfully and continues to do.
I just, I don't trust China. I don't think any of us trust China. It's funny. In my spare time, I just waste time, Kenneth. I really do. I go on YouTube and I just hit refresh and I find different things. I'm a big fan of, we have America's Got Talent in this country. Britain's Got Talent is a much better show. And they had this stand-up comedian on. Her name was Ho Huang. And she was like, yeah, I'm from China. I'm really sorry about the COVID, but I didn't do it. I've been here the whole time. So, even they know that they did it. And I just don't trust them, Kenneth. I just don't trust China.
Well, yeah, I know. That's a problem because when you're thinking about dealing with other nations and in the world of geopolitics, there has to be some level of trust. We have high trust, for example, with Europe. We have high trust probably with the Canadians, but the trust with other nations, rival nations like Russia or China, is low. And now the problem with China, because it's so important to the U.S. economy over the years, because as I said, multinationals have made it our go-to manufacturing hub and the place where big investment firms wanted to throw all their money. The trust level is evaporating very quickly. So, I don't know how that comes back. Maybe it happens under Trump. Maybe Xi Jinping goes away and, a new leader, it happens under him. I don't know. But the trust level is definitely eroding. And I really don't see how it changes, especially if the United States is going to punish China for buying Russian oil, or if the tariffs remain as high as they do, or if you have export restrictions on the things that China wants. And then China says, well, you're not going to give me these high-end chips, so we're not going to give you rare earths. So you have a stalemate. So I don't know. I think the trust level is eroding, and I don't see it getting better. As much as you will hear Scott Bessent and you'll hear Trump saying, hey, I like Xi Jinping, and these guys we're going to be friends. Everything's going to be fine. They have to say that. Yeah. But there's no evidence in the real world that the U.S. and China are even going back to, let's say, pre-tariff relations, right? And again, American manufacturers, for the most part, would not want that. If you're a big importer, you might be fine with it. But if you and I are making the open AI, and we don't want DeepSeek to undercut us worldwide. We don't want them to steal our technology and beat us. We'll never compete with them on price. So, if China goes back to a pre-Trump view of the United States, it might be bad for American manufacturing. You go back to that, return to the old status quo, or you will just see a continued deterioration of the relationship, which I expect will happen. I expect you'll just continue this sort of stalemate between the two countries and a on-again, off-again deterioration of the relationship that could come out of it.
I agree with that.
Kenneth, it's very confusing, and the everyday guy, the everyman who goes to work every day with his lunch pail and comes home, I don't think he understands any of this. I know I don't. So I just hope that the people in charge know and don't trust China, because I just don't trust them, and I don't want to do business with them, but what do I know? All right, Kenneth, thanks so much for being with us. How do we find out more about the Coalition for a Prosperous America?
You can find us online at prosperousamerica.org, and that's the best place to check us out and what we do and who we represent and why.
All right, let's talk about Portuguese food. What's your favorite thing?
Oh, bacalhau. That's a salted cod with potatoes and some egg and olives and
Ooh, that sounds
olive
good.
oil.
All right, let's have a little multicultural food conversation.
There you go.
I'm Italian. My favorite Italian food is called aglio olio, which translates into garlic and oil, little anchovies, parsley over spaghetti. Best thing ever. Best thing ever.
Okay, what about prosciutto wrapped in mozzarella? I also would say that's a great.
Yeah, but that's like
Italian
before you
thing.
eat. That comes out in a whole plate, and then the dinner comes out after that, because that's what we do is eat
right.
as Italians.
You got it.
Kenneth, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you. And when things get wacky with China, we're going to call you, okay?
Sounds good.
All right.
See you, Kenneth.
Take care.
It sounded good, that cod thing I was talking about.
That was really, it was actually good.
Hey, Steve Forbes is coming to town. He'll be at Lindenwood University September 18th, NewstalkSTL, and the Hammond Center for Free Enterprise with the help of the Young Americas Foundation and West and Mid Rivers News Magazine, bringing Steve Forbes to the Scheidegger Center in Lindenwood on September 18th. And you can get tickets for free at NewstalkSTL.com. All right, so these hiccup things that I get, I always say I don't drink before the show. I was having a conversation with Jessica yesterday, and I said, why does that happen? Like, all I've had is coffee to drink. Why am I getting these hiccups? She goes, well, your air gets under your diaphragm. I'm like, excuse me, I don't even wear a diaphragm.
Nah.
And then she goes, and then her response goes, I'm out.
I'm out.
She put her headphones back in
All
and
right.
tuned me out. It's not easy living
I
with
can
me.
imagine Jessica staring at you for about 5 seconds and saying, "You're an idiot."
I'm out. Yep. Well, I'm out. The same thing.
Okay.
I'm out equals you're an idiot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Commander Connors, he's next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about? China.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
All right, we're coming up on the weekend. Got to look forward to Sunday morning, 9 o'clock. That's when the radio show, Serenity Now Tax Show is on. Serenity Wealth Now Tax Show. They should just call it
Fun with finance.
That's what they should
Yeah,
call it.
yeah.
And Chris Cooper is the guy who runs that show. He also happens to run Serenity Wealth Management. Now, we talked about this before, too. When you go to an office, a wealth management office, you want to be comfortable right away. You don't want that nervousness, that trepidation. I'm going to go and talk about money with this guy. Well, Chris is the guy you want to talk to. And the ones you don't want to talk to is like, he points it out in a conversation that we had, the stock market channels on TV, everything's too business, nothing fun, not at Serenity Wealth Management. So go see Chris, or I tell you what, why don't you get acquainted with what he does? And you can do that through his books that he's written and never made a darn dime on because he gives them away. The new one's called The New Holistic Retirement, and you can get that at serenitynowtax.com. That is serenitynowtax.com. Serenity Now with Chris Cooper.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors.
Serenity now!
I think we should be able to have a civil conversation.
The news and talk that matters to St. Louis.
This conversation has completely made me crazy.
This is complete insanity.
News Talk STL.
What if there was a one-stop shop for all your healthcare needs and no insurance was needed? At Bell Healthcare, we make wellness simple. Optimize the patient's life. Struggling with weight loss? We offer proven programs including GLP-1 treatments like semaglutide. Need hormone therapy? We've got personalized plans for both men and women. Nagging pain or injuries? Chiropractic and regenerative medicine are available. Ready to take control of your health? Visit bellhealthcare.net today and get optimized.
At Tango Argentina Food, it's all about love and passion for authentic Argentinian cuisine. Since 2000, we've grown from one empanada at local festivals to 18 delicious varieties using traditional family recipes and ingredients imported directly from Argentina. Enjoy beef, chicken, veggie empanadas, milanesas, weekend specials, and Stella's homemade dulce de leche. Watch soccer games on our big screen while sipping imported Argentine wine. Visit our expanded West Clay location in St. Charles or get frozen empanadas online at tangoargentinafood.com.
Are uneven concrete surfaces causing you headaches? Polytime Concrete Leveling and Restoration has the solution. We're a veteran and family-owned business offering long-lasting solutions for all your concrete problems. From precision concrete leveling to our superior restoration services, our precision polyjacking outperforms traditional mudjacking any day. Call Polytime at 636-487-3282 for a free estimate or visit itspolytime.com. Mention NewstalkSTL and get $125 off any job of $600 or more, or 10% off your service.
All the information I need on the drive to work.
Mike Ferguson in the morning. I keep it on throughout the day, whether it's local, national, or something big that's happening overseas.
News, analysis, and opinion.
St. Louis is #1 for conservative talk.
News Talk STL.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
Hi, this is Joe DeVito, and you're listening to Vic and Ken on 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL, and I'm completely nude.
Hey, get your clothes on there, DeVito. He was on Gutfeld last night. Really, really good show last night. It's a Friday, and as we mentioned,
it's Friday.
That's all I wanted to hear.
That's all.
Meanwhile, it's time to go into what can't call Mr. Connors anymore, Commander Connors' neighborhood.
Yeah.
I don't think Mr. Rogers ever got elevated to commander, did he?
I don't think so.
No, so he's a step ahead of Mr. Rogers.
St. Louis, it's Mr. Connors' neighborhood.
Good morning, Commander. How are you?
Good morning. I think we're going to have to change that to Commander Connors' neighborhood and start firing guns.
Oh,
naval bombs, napalm, everything.
You know, you just gave me a great idea. Yeah. I think I have to work on something.
I knew Ken would grab that.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Yeah, I love that
okay,
line.
That should be
that
included.
line from
That'll be
Apocalypse
included.
Now. You say that to some people, they have no idea what you're talking about.
In any way.
Yeah.
The movie or the actual real life of napalm.
We are going to change the face of this segment.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Apocalypse Now.
Can you smell the wood burning from over there?
Yeah.
Commander Connors.
All right, so let's talk about President Trump and Vladimir Putin meeting today, probably any minute.
Well, I'm glad you. That's a great because I just got off the phone with Putin. So,
how's he doing?
He's ready to meet.
Yeah. With you or with Trump?
Well, he said he'll meet with me too, but he's got to meet with Trump first.
Now, honestly, what is going to happen here? I mean, President Trump has done such a great job peacemaking. I mean, if you read the list of countries that are no longer fighting because of President Trump, this is the toughest nut to crack, though, isn't it?
Obviously it is. And he has made a statement I saw that he said, I'm not going to negotiate for Ukraine. Mm-hmm. Now, the point there being is that I'm trying to negotiate a war. I'm not going to negotiate for one side or the other, which you shouldn't. Right. And he's obviously, the U.S. is in the center of it. But I think it's going to be, hopefully, as he said, it's a setup for the next meeting. It's a big chess game. That's what it amounts to.
Next meeting, which should include Zelensky as well.
Probably that's what they're suggesting.
Yeah.
You know what I like is the fact that Donald Trump said, I'm not quite sure where he is now because he's done things recently that I didn't expect.
Right.
And as far as I'm concerned, if this fails, then I'm out. We're gonna do what we have to do to protect America.
Yeah, and that's he also said there will be, I forget the exact phrasing, but similar to repercussions, basically, and he didn't make it very clear as to what it would be.
Like sanctions, maybe?
Yeah. But what additional sanctions can we put on them? I mean, India, we're hitting India with 100% tariff because they've been buying oil from Russia, and India is supposedly one of our good trading partners. We're already hitting them with a 45% tariff, and now we're jumping to 100% penalty tariff on top of that. So
has that helped?
I think it's going to have to, because India does not want to lose its relationship with the U.S.
No.
That is the key for all of these countries.
Yep.
They may not like a lot of it, but if they want to have any relationship with us in trade, the only country out there, are two of them, I should say, that have no interest in it at all: North Korea and Iran.
And Putin called Kim Jong-un for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing? Kim,
Yeah.
Kim, baby. How you doing?
Well, I don't think Russia's doing as well as they are leading on, because if you've got to call another country, especially like North Korea, to get people to fight,
Right.
you're not doing that great, I don't think.
And supposedly the North Korean troops came in were much better prepared and more efficient fighters than the Russian troops, because they haven't been fighting anything. They were pulling them out of the jail cells. Said you can go to the front line, and I'm sure some of them, once they got there, tried to get change clothes and go across the other side. But
right.
So Russia's economy is not great right now, right?
No.
So,
but Putin would tell you it is. Everything's
right.
good.
Okay, that's fine. But how can they survive with such a terrible economy for so long if Trump's going to keep pounding on sanctions and tariffs and stuff? How long can they last?
Well, that's a good question. If you look at Iran, the upper echelon, those people that are better than you, they survive. You just had to scrabble.
Isn't that when revolutions
That's
start?
exactly. That's a Mondami approach to New York City. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be all equal, but some will be more equal.
I know that we're sending messages to the actual Iranian people, not the government.
Right.
To overthrow the Ayatollah. Let's go. So can they do that in Russia? Can that happen in Russia?
I've had a couple experts on, and they say there's no doubt there's talk about it, but who wants to step up first? Because that's going to be where the first bullet will be. I don't think it's going to happen, but the Russian people, a lot of them are not happy. They've sacrificed more than 1 million when they told everybody this is not even going to be a war. This is going to be a training exercise in Ukraine.
Yeah.
No, it was a full war, and they've exhausted it. Young men in Russia started fleeing across the border to get out of Russia before they got conscripted.
Wow.
I mean, so.
I didn't know that. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm the dope, I guess, in the room.
No, you're not.
No, I've just read about it. That's all.
Ken stays on top of a lot of things.
Yes, he does.
He listens to Larry Connish USA.
I do every night.
I do too. Why haven't I picked up
You
any
get
of that?
news, analysis, opinion, and
knowledge,
education.
Okay.
And in this show, you get news, analysis, and maybe a little Italian, according to you.
Yeah, and apparently a diaphragm. I didn't know that came with the program.
Right. That kind of threw me as well.
Conversations.
Folks that are listening now that missed what you said earlier, you probably need to explain that.
Okay, so here's what happens. Okay, and Ken, you can tell me if I'm lying or not. Every once in a while, I'll start getting like these little hiccups.
Yeah.
And every day I say, I'm sorry, I don't drink before the show. I
No,
swear to
that's
God,
it.
I don't
And it's
drink
weird
before
because
the
it's
show.
like a few seconds. Like with me, if I get hiccups, I don't get them that often ever.
Yep.
But when I get them, I can't get rid of them. They're half the day. He gets them every day, but only for a few seconds.
And then they go away. So my wife is a nurse,
right?
And I got the little hiccup thing last night, which is what brought it up with her. And I said, why does that happen? I said, I got to say on the other, I don't drink before the show. I swear to God, I just have these hiccups. She goes, well, the air gets under your diaphragm. I was like, excuse me, I don't wear a diaphragm. So her response was,
funny.
Her response was, I'm out.
I love it.
The conversations in my house, I don't think anybody would believe.
You got a whole program there. We don't need a Big Brother's house or anything. We just need Vic's house.
I look at it like it's a reality show.
Absolutely.
The Porcellis.
We have said if there were cameras and microphones in our house 24/7, we'd have the best show on television. Everybody would watch, especially when Chris was living there.
Well, what I was going to say is
comedy.
That's the only caveat. You'd have to have Chris return home, have your other daughters return home.
Yeah, right.
And stay there.
Yep.
Or you could just invite people in.
And then
it's got to be Chris. It's
got to be Chris because he's pretty. Those two are like a team. They feed off of each other.
Yeah. Yep. That's true. All right. So, and by the way, Chris, he still does a lot of community theater in Oklahoma, and he got the lead in Sweeney Todd. He's going to be Sweeney Todd.
Oh, cool.
That's going to be great.
Can't wait for that.
Cool.
That's in October.
Yeah.
All right. So, big poker tournament coming to Hollywood starting tonight.
No, actually, they have a qualifier tonight to get into the main event.
Well, it's okay. It's
but
playing.
the event actually starts next Tuesday, or I think it's Tuesday.
Now, do they have? I remember the Hollywood Poker Opens used to come,
right?
And they used to have
And then you had Heartland and others like that. This is I think it's called Midstate. I know I'm stepping on you.
You're trampling. You're not stepping. You're trampling.
All right.
But in the Hollywood Poker Open, they would have Omaha events.
Mm-hmm.
They would have horse events. They'd have What's the game where the worst hand wins? What's that called?
Oh, Bunjogi?
No. Come on.
I always had the worst hand. I shouldn't know this.
That's why I like to play those games. But I don't know. I just
I'd be good at that.
Poker's just Raz. They used to have Raz
Oh, yeah,
tournaments.
Raz, yeah.
You know, so you get 2 cards. Is Raz dealt like 7-card stud, or like no, it's dealt like Texas Hold'em, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You get 2 cards, and then the cards come up, and then the object is to have the worst hand. So ace 2, 3, 4, 5 is the worst hand.
Okay. What did you say? Ace what?
No, I guess 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well, no, ace 3, 4.
Oh,
5.
got
Yeah.
it. Ace 3,
Yeah,
4,
yeah.
5, 6. Okay, because it can't be a straight.
Yeah,
right. So, and it's the craziest game. The worst hand wins.
Wow,
it drives poker players insane.
That would drive me nuts. Even
so,
I'd probably be an ace then. I'd be an excellent poker player at that
there's
point.
a game called Pineapple, same kind of thing. You get 3 cards, and then you decide to get rid of one. And after the flop, well, there's betting pre-flop. Then the flop comes and you get rid of a card, and from then on, you're stuck with what you decided.
Man, Omaha. Ken, have you ever heard of Omaha?
Yeah.
You get 4 cards, not 2 cards. You get dealt 4 cards. But the key to making it such a hard game is you have to use exactly 2 of your cards. Can't use 3, can't use 1, can't use 4, can't use none.
Oh.
You got to use 2 and then the board. Tough game to read what the hell's going on.
Well, you know, when Moneymaker came into town, when they had opened up Lumiere, they brought him as kind of a special
ambassador.
You're
Yeah.
right. And so he was trying to teach guys. Omaha, a lot of them didn't know how to play. Oh, he was cleaning their clock. They said, "Oh, I got to straighten." No, you're not using 2 cards in your hand.
Right.
Oh, okay. Oh, I got this. No, you're trying to use 3 cards.
And Larry, these pros, they never look back.
Yeah.
Like I have to look back when I have 2 cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
4 cards, I have to constantly, even when I'm playing online, I have to, what do I have? Do I have do I have 2 pair? It's hard. All right. What's coming up tonight?
Tonight, we're going to be focused on, for one thing, it's something Ken sent me, which I think is very important. Peter Navarro, talking about they're going to have a strategic prescription ingredient supply started, which I think is great. We cannot rely on other nations. Thank you, Ken. I think that's a great storyline.
My pleasure.
Somebody's been saying that for 4 years.
I know.
I wonder how.
And we're finally going to do it. And then, of course, the battle over D.C. and the troops and everything else. And I told the audience the other day, Muriel Bowser in the beginning was, well, he has the authority, and, we'll see how it goes. But she was kind of muted. She didn't say that much. I said, watch for the backlash that she didn't scream and shout. And now it is. So now I think the D.C. AG is trying to, well, not the D.C. AG, that'd be Piero at this point, but they're trying everything they can to fight against this.
Anna Navarro has called Gloria Estefan was nominated for a Kennedy Award. She's going to get a Kennedy Award. And Anna Navarro said, please don't take it.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah.
How dare you
say,
I don't get this award because you don't like President Trump? Why don't you shut up?
Yeah.
My commentary running today is talking about all these actors. Most of them hate America. They hate you because you're MAGA or anything else. But there's one actor that I profiled today that says, all these Oscars I've gotten and nominations, he said, my real award is on my final day on earth. Those Oscars aren't going to do anything for me.
We'll wait to hear who that is on the commentaries at
You'll like
7:30, 12:03, and 3:30 in the afternoon.
Yes, sir.
6 to 8 tonight
Yes,
with
sir.
Commander Connors.
Thank you. God bless.
Mr. Connor's Neighborhood on the Vic Porcelli Show.
God bless, Mr. Connors.
Good luck tonight. Run good.
Oh, yeah.
Commander.
All right, so let's dig a little deeper into what Larry said there about the Strategic Active Pharmaceutical Ingredients Reserve.
Okay.
Huh. It's not going to be anything different than you and I have talked about for 4 years.
No.
But that's next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, number 1 for live and local conservative talk.
Well, the times are getting hard for you, little girl. I'm a humming and a strumming all over God's world.
Like and subscribe to us on Rumble. News Talk STL. Vic and Ken.
They're just a bunch of pansies.
The Vic Porcelli Show on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Producer Joey V here, and Friday we're going to be taking a look back at some of the best segments Tim and Chris produced while over in Israel.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps, weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 1019. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Hello, I'm Missouri State Treasurer Vivek Malik. August 14th is National Able Savings Day, a time to highlight how Able accounts empower individuals with disabilities. Our More Able program helps Missourians save for everyday needs without losing public benefits. To celebrate, we are offering a $25 match for anyone who opens a new account in August. Earnings grow tax-free and contributions qualify for a state tax reduction. Let's help more Missourians build financial independence. Learn more at moable.com.
Paid for by the Missouri State Treasurer's Office. Mr. Connor's Neighborhood, brought to you by Proctor Drapery Blinds and Shutters. Proctor, spelled like doctor. ProctorDrapery.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
I spoke to Governor Trudeau.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
First of all, we're going to establish a strategic active pharmaceutical ingredient reserve. API, active pharmaceutical ingredients, are the ones that lead to the finished doses that get us the pills that go in our medicine cabinet. So that's number one. Number two, to ensure that there's demand for domestic manufacturers, we're going to have the three big agencies, Health and Human Services, the VA and DOD, issue long-term contracts to buy the medicines we need. The three of them and the government as a whole is the biggest single buyer. So that'll stabilize demand. And then on the supply chain, the variation on getting less regulations involved is we're going to have the ability to fast track things like advanced continuous manufacturing.
That's Peter Navarro, who we've had on the show a few times. And he's talking about, this is, Ken, we have a strategic oil reserve, right?
Yeah.
We've had it forever. By the way, Donald Trump is replenishing that reserve that Joe Biden depleted down to nothing. And Peter Navarro explained that President Trump has a strategic active pharmaceutical ingredients reserve. Well, that's one step, I think, I could be wrong, one step towards actually making all our pharmaceuticals here in the United States.
This is a very intelligent move. I think when you have an administration that is full of business people, full of economics people, they know what they're doing. They're not going to just say, well, we're going to get pharmaceuticals here in this country. We don't know how yet, but we're going to do it. They have a path, and they probably designed this thing to where, okay, this is first step, second step, third step. And then eventually, hopefully, and I believe it, they're going to have manufacturing here in this country.
We better. The guy we talked to Kenneth Rapoza at the top of the show today, and he works for the Coalition
for a Prosperous America.
Thanks, Kenny. Coalition for a Prosperous America. And I just, as with the commercials were on there, I just typed into Google, China makes our drugs. That's all I did. China makes our drugs. First article is from them, from Coalition for a Prosperous America, written by Kenneth Rapoza, that says China owns America's generic drug supply chain. So here's the problem. Let's just take a drug like Eliquis, okay? Eliquis is if you have AFib. I don't know, AFib is with your heart, and your heart
Yes.
doesn't beat the right way. Eliquis is super duper expensive. And I don't know. Sometimes I don't understand drug companies. If you make it so expensive that people can't afford it, aren't you leaving your people who are going to buy it and make you money out of the equation?
Well, what it does, they hold hostage the other, like subsidies. Like when you can have a place like, for example, Express Scripts or something like them, and they can underwrite that drug for a person who can't. Say someone says, I am declaring that I cannot afford this drug, but can you help me? And there are programs available for that. So what the pharmaceutical companies have is they have lobbyists that get that money. Vic, I know it's a process, but I swear this is happening, and that's the reason why they're not lowering the prices in America. However, their prices are a lot lower overseas.
Oh, I know that. I'll tell you a quick story on that. My son was in Luxembourg. He was playing piano in a little bar in Germany for about 6 weeks or whatever it was, because this guy just loves to have these American kids come and play Billy Joel and Elton John songs. And he got really sick asthma, and he went to the hospital, and they gave him Advair. Have you ever heard of Advair?
No.
It's a breathing thing. You open it and you breathe it in, and it helps your asthma.
Okay.
And he paid $5 for it. $5.
And how much is it normally?
A couple hundred
in the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's what this is all about. It's a scam. It is a scam. They don't have to charge that. But when you have lobbyists, Vic, and you have subsidies and all this other stuff, why not? They're gonna do it.
Some of their lobbyists are the people on the news, on TV.
Oh yeah,
the mainstream media.
You got that right.
So, let's go back to Eliquis. So Eliquis is this heart drug, which is really, really expensive. And I think it's called GoodRx. Have you ever heard of the GoodRx
Yes,
card?
I have. Yeah.
If some people use GoodRx cards to get a discount on their prescriptions, and sometimes that discount is cheaper than their drug prescription plan at work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't word that very well.
No, I get what you're saying though, because every once in a while, what I'll do is I will check the drugs if I use the drug. Okay, I would check it with GoodRx just to make sure I'm getting the lowest price.
Absolutely.
You know? But what they do require though, GoodRx, I believe that you can't use insurance with them.
No,
that's the whole point.
And
of
that's why they're cheaper than insurance. That was what I was trying to think of.
Okay,
insurance.
yeah.
So you either use GoodRx or your insurance. Sometimes GoodRx will be cheaper. I'm sorry. Again, back to Eliquis. Super duper expensive drug. There are companies in this country who have made a generic equivalent for Eliquis, and that would, of course, make it a lot cheaper if you get the generic. So what Eliquis does is, whatever company makes Eliquis, I'm sure it's Pfizer, but I'm not sure. I guessed it was Pfizer.
Right.
What they do is change the formula just a little bit, because your drug patent runs out after a while. That's how the generics come into play. So Eliquis changes a little bit of their formula, and then says, "Oh nope, we have a new a new patent on this drug now, so you can't make your generic work." And there are companies waiting. They've got the exact same ingredients in Eliquis in a cheaper generic form, but they can't sell it because the company that makes Eliquis keeps changing their formula and keeping their patent to make the big money.
So guess who makes Eliquis?
Pfizer?
And it's a partnership between Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
How about that?
So you touched on the generic thing. I think that's where we're going to benefit the most, because you do have drug companies that they want, they're independent. They want to grow, and they're going to come up with these drugs that are going to compete with your Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer and AbbVie and all those. But
the big companies are thwarting that by just changing the formula and getting a new patent.
Yeah, but I think there could be regulations coming down the pike if they do this manufacturing thing in the United States. they're going to have to change regulations. They can't just have them the same way and expect it to flourish.
Are we going to make our drugs in the United States?
I think we are.
Well, let's go.
They're building the apparatus right now, Vic. This is a big lift. What people need to understand here, and this is only because recently I've just been looking into a lot of this stuff. And before, if you remember, I was very anxious about why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that now? Come on, let's go,
Yeah.
Trump administration.
Yeah.
We got to get moving here. But they are taking a lot of things. They are reforming the economy of the world. They are reforming the way business is done. I mean, they're doing some heavy lifting right now. And this whole thing about building the supply in the United States, manufacturing in the United States, that is a system that's going to have to grow from grassroots, basically like a grassroots versus AstroTurf type of situation.
So beyond the term of President Trump.
Oh yeah, I think so for sure. That's why we have to have. You can't vote Democrat. If you vote Democrat in 26 and 28, if you vote Democrat in either of those, the midterms or the general election coming up, it's over.
Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating here.
I know
they
Ken.
are going to attack every single person and do the same exact thing that you've been afraid of the last 4 years. They're going to just throw everything out the window and open up the borders and criminals everywhere. You're going to see something you've never seen before, and it's going to be even worse because they got away with it the first time.
Yeah. And, we had to waste 4 years in the middle there, with Joe Biden's administration that, you can't tell me he was not in bed with China. We talk about Mark Milley all the time,
Hunter, the money they made, that family's, we're finding out with those, remember the shell corporations that they named after their freaking grandchildren? They were getting funneled money through China.
Yeah. Milley was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. That's as high as it gets in the U.S. military. It doesn't get any higher than that. And we trusted him, and he didn't like Trump because you know why? Trump called him an idiot, and that hurt his ego.
Oh,
I swear to God, that's what I believe in my heart, is that's why Milley started to turn on Trump and to call the general in China to say, well, just in case Trump attacks you, I'll let you know. First of all, there was no indication that Trump was going to attack anyone. Anyone.
Yeah.
And if it did happen and you're protecting the person that we're attacking, well, I think that's treason. And then the balloon, we talk about the balloon all the time. So the time we wasted in the 4 years of the Biden administration is like climbing a rope, right? You're climbing a rope, the Trump administration rope, you're climbing it, and then you're getting almost to the top, and then Biden takes over, and then all of a sudden there's like something slippery on the rope, and you slide down, and you got to, that's what they're doing.
That's a good analogy.
They're trying to climb back up the rope again, because clearly now, after the conversation that we had with Kenneth Rapoza and Larry and you and me, this is not going to happen during the Trump administration.
In this clip that we just played with Peter Navarro, in it, if you listen closely, he says that what we're trying to do also is we're trying to give long-term contracts out there, so there will be like an avenue beyond the Trump administration requiring a funnel of manufacturing here in the United States.
Play it again.
Okay,
Peter Navarro.
Here we go.
First of all, we're going to establish a strategic active pharmaceutical ingredient reserve. API, active pharmaceutical ingredients, are the ones that lead to the finished doses that get us the pills that go in our medicine cabinet.
So just real quick, what he wants to do, what they want to do is they're going to get the supplies ready, get everything ready for manufacturing. You can't manufacture anything if you don't have the supplies. So they want to make sure they guarantee there is a supply there.
How close are we to that?
I don't know. It has to be built, Vic. It's got to grow.
So you got the ingredients that go in the pills. Then in the case of capsules, you have to make the casing.
Everything. Yeah.
It's really starting from scratch. And I guess that's my point. We didn't have to start from scratch if the Biden administration didn't screw anything up. Now, with all that being said, I'm really glad that President Trump is president now, because now we did need him during the Biden administration stretch, but we really, really need him now. And I'm not saying I'm glad President Trump wasn't elected in 2020. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that it's good that we have him now.
Well, hindsight's 2020, and if he had one in 2020, we would never have seen the deep state as we did now. I mean, as we see it now.
And the deep state is so deep. We'll just spend a minute on this because we're out of time. But some guy in the street in Washington, D.C., threw a Subway sandwich at an ICE agent. Well, the guy that threw that sandwich works for the DOJ. He's an attorney with the DOJ, and he's a left-wing radical.
Yeah, and this is what I think he outed himself, first of all. This is that part of the deep state that you hope that they would do the things that he did.
Right.
You know, like he literally could have just walked down the street and shut up and have been fine.
Right.
And stayed the deep stater.
What did he think was going to happen?
They're going insane on the left, Vic. They're losing their minds. He lost his mind.
And his job.
He had it in his job. Well, he lost his mind and he lost his job because of it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
He had a sandwich, which, by the way, pissed me off because Subway's a good sandwich.
Yeah.
And he threw it at them and destroyed it. Well, he destroyed his job, his career, everything.
And there's a rumor going around that J.B. Pritzker might want to switch sides and be an ICE agent just so people will throw sandwiches at him. Yeah, sorry.
That was pretty good.
Completely stole that from Greg Gutfeld.
That was good.
Wasn't even mine. So you're laughing at jokes that I got from Gutfeld, but not mine. I don't know what. I think you're a Chinese asset. That's what I think. Are you a spy for the Russians? Are you sleeping with a guy named Fang Fang?
Yeah.
A girl
How
named
did you
Fang
know?
Fang?
Don't tell my wife.
Sorry. All right, Susie Moore, Deputy Managing Editor at redstate.com. We'll talk about some of the great stuff that she's written this week. You know, we'll get ourselves into the weekend. There's my diaphragm acting up again. On 101, on 1019, 94, I don't wear a diaphragm. News Talk STL. Welcome home. I'm out, she says.
Hi, I'm Dr. Alan Link, owner of the Dental Link. You've heard ads about teeth in a day, but did you know that you'll be chewing on plastic, acrylic teeth? Here at the Dental Link, we can give you porcelain crown and bridge teeth utilizing mini dental implants that function much more like real teeth at about half the cost. Plus, mini dental implants are less invasive, less painful, and your recovery time is much shorter. Give us a call at 314-794-6464 or simply visit us today at thedentallink.com.
Dude, this house is perfect. Crumbs everywhere, sticky counters. I've already texted the colony.
Sweet, I'll bring my 500 cousins. This will be the biggest ant rager of the summer.
Let's party! Wait, what's that sound? Oh, no, it's those trucks with the green wheels. Party's over, man. Party's over.
This is Derek, the owner of All Solutions Pest Control. We'd love to help you out. Give us a call today for a free estimate at 636-486-7888.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Never paint again with Rhino Shield. Listen to what a couple of happy customers have to say.
My family's business is over 10,000 square feet, and it did not have the curb appeal I wanted. Our building was really faded. You came out, you gave me all of these options that would fit my building. I don't want to have to paint my building again. 25 years is a long time to not have to worry about the outside maintenance of your building as far as paint. That's a no-brainer. That's why Rhino Shield worked for me.
What a wonderful job they did. It's beautiful. They were very thoughtful, kind, considerate guys. Appreciate all the work that these two young men did.
Call Rhino Shield, 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Belfast, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. In what might be seen as a vote of confidence in the economy and in their own personal finances, Americans stepped up their spending last month. The Commerce Department reports retail sales rose 0.5% in July compared to June. Auto sales, especially robust last month. In June, retail sales soared close to 1%. The nation's capital is suing the Trump administration for its takeover of the D.C. Police Department.
Washington, D.C. challenged Donald Trump's police takeover in court after his administration named the DEA administrator as the new emergency police chief. D.C.'s Attorney General accused the president of going far beyond his legal authority and asked a judge to keep control of the police department in district hands. Brian Schwab described the administration's actions as unlawful and the gravest threat to home rule that the nation's capital has ever faced. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Looking to end the war in Ukraine, President Trump is sounding an optimistic note heading into today's meeting with Russia's Vladimir Putin.
I think President Putin will make peace. I think President Zelensky will make peace. We'll see if they can get along. And if they can, it'll be great.
If today's Alaska meeting goes well, Mr. Trump expects at least one more meeting to follow. Close to 2 million and counting the number of illegal aliens, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says have self-deported since President Trump took office back in January. California Governor Newsom has a plan aimed at getting Democrats 5 more seats in the House. Voters will pass judgment on the redrawn congressional maps in November. On Wall Street this morning, stocks have been mixed. They are this hour, the Dow trading about 30 points higher, while the NASDAQ Composite Index is down 92 points, and the S&P 17 points in the red. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You work hard, you build wisely, your home has become one of your greatest assets. If you're staying put this summer, this might be the perfect time to put that equity to work. Whether it's funding a second home, helping your kids get their start, or simply creating more margin in your financial life, Mike and Brian at Fellowship Home Loans are the only ones I trust to guide you through it. They've done loans for my family. They tailor every loan to fit your goals. Fellowship is a direct lender and operates with your best interest in mind. If you're looking to access your equity through a refi or exploring a HELOC for some cash this summer for a second property, or maybe tackle those updates you've been putting off, start with people you trust, people I trust. Go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Oh boy, the summer swelter is going to be on this weekend as our next heat wave kicks off today. In fact, a heat advisory goes into effect at noon, remains in effect through at least Monday, could even be extended. 96 for the high this afternoon, mostly sunny skies. Heat index touches 102 today. Let's go 98 for the top temp on both Saturday and Sunday. A very hot weekend, keeping it mostly sunny, pushing that heat index to 104 both days. This heat will not break until the middle of next week. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
All right, hour number 2 of our 3-hour tour. Coming up at 10:25, Captain KAISER will be here with us for What Are You Watching? I watched one movie that's not current, from years ago, and I'm in the Dexter universe, man. I'm stuck in the Dexter universe. I can't get out.
I'm ready to dive back in for the newest one.
Yeah. The last line of the latest episode of Dexter Resurrection, I can't say on the air.
Yeah,
because there's a bad word. It's so funny. My wife and I both burst out laughing when he said it. And weird thing about Dexter, and we'll talk to Kathy about this, is we root for Dexter. We love Dexter.
Right.
He's a murderer.
He's a mass murderer.
Serial murderer. We root for him.
Yeah.
It's Friday.
All right, let's go. Smooziness.
Oh, Susie Q,
Smooziness.
I'm the boss.
I should have listened to Susie more from the beginning.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right about that.
Good morning, Smoozy Q.
Good morning, Vicky Pooh.
How you doing? I'm not making that my handle on X. I'm not.
No, I know.
Vicky Pooh.
It does rhyme, though, and I know you love the
does.
rhymes. All right, so I want to talk about Adam Schiff with you, Smoozy Q, because
Okey-dokey.
a couple of things that we've said on this show, the ones that yell the loudest are usually the ones that are the most guilty, right? And he has made TikTok videos and Instagram videos almost every single day telling us how bad the Trump administration is. And I'll be darned, he is in big trouble now, is he not?
Well, I'm not sure what that's going to translate into. Like, in other words, I don't know if he's going to be marched off in an orange jumpsuit, but he's certainly been exposed for the leaking leaker that he is.
And he needs to be censured, expelled, debunked, whatever the word is, what you get rid of senators.
Yeah, censured. So he was censured while he was still in the House because of some of his nefarious activities with regard to the investigation into Russiagate, because he had been dishonest about some of it. So I don't know if that's going to translate into, the Senate's out, the House is out right now. They're on their August break. When they come back, will there be efforts to censure him? I wouldn't be surprised if someone proposes that is done.
So what? Honestly.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's basically just a black mark on his record. It's not going to have any significant effect. I don't know. The information that's come out pretty much points to him, but we're looking at it from a non-legal standpoint. In other words, let's just assume that there was no issue as far as statute of limitations. Let's just say this had just happened like last year. Okay. I don't know if what's there is enough, to actually prosecute him. I think it is, but in terms of tying him specifically to the leaks as opposed to people around him, I don't know. So I don't want to get out over the skis, and I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. I think it's great that he's continuing to be exposed for the fraud that he is. And I mean, something may come of the mortgage fraud, speaking of fraud, that is being, criminally investigated. So I don't know. I know that if there's anybody on the face of this planet that I think is deserving of a legal wallop, it's Adam Schiff. I think he's disgusting.
I like how you put that.
Legal wallop.
And I would love to see that. I just don't want to get ahead of myself.
So Victor Davis Hanson, incredibly smart guy. And the great thing about Victor Davis Hanson is when he speaks, he's got such a soothing voice. It's like so easy, And he came up with this 3 blind mice name for Comey and Clapper and Brennan. So I guess my question is, with this Schiff thing going on, does that open the door to get a little bit more investigative on Comey, Clapper, and Brennan?
I think those are two separate facets of a related story. With Schiff, what we're talking about is information that was shared with congressional members of that committee, and then made its way to the press. That's a different issue than the intelligence chiefs orchestrating behind the scenes, basically, to undermine the then president, or the president-elect and then president. So they're related stories, but I don't know that they directly connect with one another. So I don't know how to answer your question.
That's okay, guys, because that wasn't my point at all. My point is, because Schiff's face was on the TV last night, and I said to Jessica, I said, "What do you think is going to happen to Schiff?" She goes, "Nothing. Nothing's going to happen because Republicans don't do anything." That's what she says every night. So I guess my point is not that they're related or unrelated, but if we see something legal happen to Schiff or just punishment in the Senate, does it open the door to get to Comey, Clapper, and Brennan, any other people?
Strzok, Page,
yeah,
McCabe.
Just open the door to do something to some of these other people who have committed crimes.
Loretta Lynch.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is the door, if it's open, is already open. It's not going to hinge on anything happening to Adam Schiff, because you're talking about two different things. You're talking about them doing bad things, and you're talking about him leaking classified information. Those are two separate acts, even though they had a similar subject matter. So if the door's open or going to be opened as to Clapper, Comey, Brennan, Strzok, Page, any of those, it's going to be independent of what happens to Adam Schiff.
Ken and I were talking about this earlier in the week, and I mentioned, leaking classified information, and then read the rest of the stuff. And then I stopped and I said, let me say that again, and slowly. Adam Schiff leaked classified information. I mean, that is a crime right there, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. The leaking of classified information is a crime. The question is whether they can prove specifically that it was Schiff as opposed to someone who, a staffer or someone else who worked on the committee. The information that came out this week with regard to the interview from the former staffer basically was like, yeah, I think it was him, but they didn't have nothing in that information said definitively, like, tied him having a phone call to this paper, that sort of thing. So that's what I was saying earlier. I don't know if there's enough to actually prove he's the source. It sure looks like he was the source, at least one of them. We also look. It also looks like Eric Swalwell was.
Yeah,
he apparently has a reputation for that. So,
and not for nothing, but he slept with a Chinese spy. So, Kash Patel, FBI Director Kash Patel, said they found a locked room in the Hoover Building with burn bags, hard drives, and all kinds of material.
And this is long, Susie. It's a little bit long. It's about a minute 30. Okay, but it's really worth it because he goes down to. He describes a lot.
Okay, go.
I was blown away, but sadly, it's come to be expected in this town when corrupt bureaucrats weaponize and destroy law enforcement like predecessors of mine did at the FBI. And thankfully, Donald Trump's mandate and election victory was for transparency and accountability. Just think about this for a second. Not only did we expose the Russiagate hoax with the greats like Devin and Trey and Johnny Ratcliffe when we were back there in the House Intel Committee excavating and exposing the FISA abuses, the corruption of political parties, and the lies to a federal court just to illegally surveil a presidential candidate. I come in then years later, nearly a decade as a director of the FBI, thinking we uncovered most of it. But sadly, we found a room locked away in the Hoover Building that contained burn bags. A burn bag is a government bag that is specifically created to destroy classified evidence and shred and burn it, hence the name burn bag. We didn't find one, we found 7. That wasn't the only thing we found in there. We found hard drives from our predecessors and prior FBI leadership, and folks like Page, Strzok, McCabe, Comey, the list goes on from Russiagate. The names were strewn all over these materials. Now, as our great attorney general just told you, we can't deny or confirm what we're looking at, but what we can discuss is what we've publicly disclosed. And these documents have been publicly disclosed because the greatest way to educate and bring along the American public for transparency, initiative, and accountability under President Trump is to give them the documents. And step 1 is by cleaning house inside the walls of Hoover.
And I think that's all part of it. And what you're talking about, Susie, trying to prove if there's stuff in burn bags and files everywhere, something, I hope something comes out of it.
Yeah. And do you think there will be, Susie, from this new evidence that they found?
So I think it's well, I'm going to put it at 50-50. And here's a point that I want to make. There being documents and stuff in burn bags is not in and of itself sinister. That's a normal process for disposing of classified information when it is supposed to be disposed of. Obviously, there's got to be a way. If it's not supposed to be disclosed to other people and it's supposed to be kept secret, there's got to be a way to safely dispose of it. So that's why those burn bags exist. The stuff that was in the burn bag he's talking about and the hard drives certainly sounds like it was stuffed there to hide it away. Now, why the people who thought it was important enough to hide it away didn't think it was important enough to then make sure it was destroyed is a big mystery to me.
Well, hey, Susie, what I'm hoping at that point is that they were scheduled to do it, but then they assigned it to somebody and they got mixed up and it just got left there. I'm hoping. Yeah,
I don't know if we'll ever know exactly what happened there, but it does raise some questions. It's like, well, okay, if you went to the trouble of doing this, why didn't you actually see it through?
Yeah.
But as Kash notes there, they've disclosed a lot of stuff publicly. I'm still trying to work my way through all the documents that have been disclosed recently. It's a tall order, but I'm getting there. But there obviously is stuff that they are looking at that they can't discuss right now because it's part of the ongoing investigation. We know that they constituted this strike force. We know that they have initiated grand jury proceedings in, I think, several different jurisdictions. So I'm optimistic, but I'm cautiously optimistic that there will be some legal accountability to come. I know that they've got an uphill battle because of statute of limitations issues, but they may be able to get around that with, if they're able to charge something as a conspiracy, that sort of thing.
So
I just don't know where it's going to lead. And the other thing I just want to say real quick is a lot of the information that's that's been disclosed recently, a lot of it was already out there in different, maybe in different formats or little snippets here and there. Because I was like going through some of this stuff and I was like, wait a second, we wrote about this before.
Yeah.
And I went back and looked, and sure enough, and we'd written about it in 2019. It's just there's so much, it gets lost in the shuffle of it all.
I
But
think
some of the stuff is new.
I think the Democrats are hoping that it gets lost because there's so much of it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's go back to the first impeachment hearing of Donald Trump. Adam Schiff was the chair of that committee, and he got up there and he tried to make it sound like he was quoting President Trump. Do you remember this? When he said, now listen and listen good. I'm only going to say this 7 times. I want you to dig dirt up on my opponent, which none of that was true. Now, I understand that, you know, senators and House of Representative members, they are not, they can't be in trouble or prosecuted for anything they say up there on the dais, which is crazy. If they're lying, they're lying. But I mean, that's the kind of stuff that he did, which was just like going on TV and saying he had a whistleblower.
Yes.
Same thing.
Yeah. And I forgive me if you said this or if I've forgotten this, but I think that might have been what drew the censure back then, was his going up there and portraying that conversation as if it really happened, as opposed to his dramatic reenactment of it.
We're talking about exactly the same thing, and I didn't realize that's what led to the censure. That's great. So they
I
can
think
be
it was.
responsible for things they say up there then.
Well, that's different. Okay, being censured for something is different than being criminally prosecuted or sued civilly. That's an internal, action, basically saying what you did, you shouldn't have done, and that I don't think is limited by it being that them saying it on the floor. I think that, in fact, that can be a prime example of when they might be censured because they said something on the floor that they shouldn't have. But that doesn't mean they're going to be like legal repercussions. It just means they got a slap on the wrist from their colleagues.
So, I mean, I think there's a difference between saying it on the floor and saying it as part of a committee, though, right? At a hearing.
I don't think so. I think that the speech and debate clause protects them if they are speaking formally as part of a congressional proceeding. That's different than if they are, throwing something out online or talking to a reporter, giving an interview, just holding a press conference outside, some department or whatever. So I think it is broad enough that it encompasses, their comments and stuff in a committee hearing, but not so much that it would encompass, like, as I was just saying, an interview or that sort of thing.
Okay. Are we done with this? You want to move on to something else?
Yeah.
How about Gavin Newsom, who all but eliminated any chance of being the president in the last 48 hours?
He is an odd duck, I tell you. I mean, he's the poster boy for what the Democrats should want and who they should want to run in 2028, because he's got the looks and he seems very smooth and he's been the governor of California, but he just can't help himself. He's such a goober. And I know he's not putting out all of the social media statements. A lot of that's coming from his assistant, who is a treat to work with, let me tell you, because we hear from him regularly. But I mean, I know people are going to turn around and go, well, look at what Trump puts out, blah, 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 blah. Gavin Newsom isn't Donald Trump.
Right.
And Gavin Newsom trying to come off like he is doesn't work. It's not authentic. It's just goobery.
He's trying to out Trump, and he's saying goobery. He's trying to out Trump. And he sounds like a lunatic, man.
He's a lunatic. He's a goober. All right, let's hear a little bit of him responding to ICE agents making arrests.
Could you speak to the ICE action outside the news conference?
It's pretty sick and pathetic, and it just said everything you need to know, the setting that we're under, that they chose the time, manner, and place to send their district director outside right when we're about to have this press conference. Said everything you know about Donald Trump's America. Wake up, America. Wake up. You will not have a country if he rigs this election. You will have a president who will be running for a 3rd term. Mark my word. I wasn't exaggerating when I said that I received in the mail a Trump 2028 hat from one of his biggest supporters. These guys are not screwing around. The rules do not apply to him. The most corrupt president in history. It's a lawless president. Wake up, America. Wake up to what's going on.
Mark my word. Ken, would you mark his word?
Yes, I will.
That he said it on this date?
Yes.
Yesterday's date, whatever it is. Mark my word, because it said Trump 2020. It didn't say Donald Trump 2028,
Right.
which is so stupid. Anyway, your thoughts on Governor Goober?
My thoughts on this is that he doesn't recognize a troll when he receives it. I mean, clearly, I think someone sent him that hat to mess with him.
And it worked.
It's ironic that he's talking about this president being lawless when Trump is trying to enforce federal immigration law, and it's Newsom that is opposing that. And just as an example, you look at these, myriad court cases. We're up well over 300 court cases now. There have been rulings in favor of the administration. There have been rulings against the administration. The administration is continuing to litigate the cases. They're not just going out and saying, well, you know what? We don't like that ruling, so screw you, Judge.
No, what Biden did, though.
Yeah. So it's interesting that he's being referred to as lawless when he's doing the opposite of that.
He's a goober. All right. So what's coming up Saturday on Red State Radio?
Sunday.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a surprise because I haven't gotten it all set up yet.
Okay, that's fair enough. It's always a good show. It's always good conversation. And
I appreciate that.
Here's the thing, Susie. When I'm in my car and I'm listening to a segment and I don't get out of my car till a segment is over, that's good news. And that's what happened to me last Sunday. So well done.
Well, I appreciate that. And I very much love knowing that you're enjoying it.
Oh, I'm there. All right. Have a great weekend. We'll chat next week.
Actually, we won't check next.
We will not chat next week is what I meant to say. Where are you going to be now?
Colorado.
What the hell's going on here?
Have fun.
All right. We'll talk to you whenever you get around to talking to us. Okay?
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
All right. We'll see you.
See you, Susie.
Bye.
What are you watching, Ken? What are you watching?
What are you watching?
Maybe we should get Elon Omar to say that. What are you watching? That's next with Kathy KAISER from Fox 2 on 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Follow us on Rumble at News Talk STL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
The golden rule of listening to Democrats, which is whatever they say, the opposite is true.
On News Talk STL.
This is Tony Colombo, and my favorite Capriati sandwich is the cheesesteak made with American Wagyu beef from Snake River Farms, and you have to include a side of their amazing fries. I love Capriati's, and you will too.
Open 9 to 9 daily on Manchester at McKnight in Rock Hill.
Remember those magical moments in Mom's kitchen? The heavenly aroma of fresh baked cookies? At Trolley Stop Bakery in Chesterfield's Forum Shopping Center, our co-op of talented bakers has been perfecting that homemade magic for 4 decades. From the gooeyest cookies in town to custom pies, cobblers, and cakes, everything's made from scratch, just like Mom and Grandma's recipes. Need that perfect corporate gift? We ship our famous cookies nationwide. The Trolley Stop Bakery, 67 Forum Shopping Center, or TrolleyStopBakery.com. Because some traditions are too sweet not to share.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Voss of Safe Bunny Radio as part of our lineup each week. Doug has been a staple on the St. Louis radio airways for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can now hear Doug and Safe Bunny Radio every weekend on News Talk STL. But in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeBunnyRadio.com. What else do our listeners need to know, Doug? Simply put, I focus on helping pre-retirees and retirees build, preserve, and protect retirement assets, and I've been helping my clients solve their insurance and financial needs for the past 33 years. I also strive to educate my clients on how to prepare for retirement, minimize the impact of market volatility on their assets, and deal with the challenges of increased longevity. Call me today at 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
News Talk STL. Whether at home or at work, you're mobile. So when you're mobile, stay mobile. Keep St. Louis's home for conservative talk with you wherever you go. Download the News Talk STL app in the App Store or at newstalkstl.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
It's Friday!
You're listening to the star of Lizzie Borden Had an Axe, Sprouts, and Death Comes a Nightfall. Ranked 893,361 on IMDb. This is Vic Porcelli.
I haven't moved up one spot.
Not even one.
I moved down?
Maybe.
my son's friends, all filmmakers,
Yes.
in high school and in college, and they always, when they need a heavy, they call me. And I'm
That's
say heavy and fat.
fantastic.
I wasn't fat at the time, but when they need a gangster guy, they call me. So that's fun.
I love it. So have you been in any film?
Those three he mentioned.
Oh, okay.
We'll get back to that in a second. First of all, what are you watching?
You're listening to the star of Lizzie Borden Had an Axe, Sprouts, and Death Comes a Nightfall. Ranked 893,361
All right, we didn't have
on
to hear that part,
IMDb.
did we? Did we have to hear that
This
part,
is
really?
Vic Porcelli.
What are you watching? Ken, what are you watching?
What are you watching?
What are you watching?
What are you watching? What are you watching?
So, Lizzie Borden had an axe, not Lizzie Borden. Lizzie Borden had an axe.
Okay.
I actually get killed in that axe in my chest. And the kid, I am so stupid that I don't remember his name. The kid that did the makeup actually worked on Winter's Bone, the movie Winter's Bone with Jennifer Lawrence. So he knew what he was doing.
Knew what he was doing.
And he made it look like this axe was in my chest, and he made me look dead. And I'm like dead. I showed it to my wife. She goes, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that picture. I'm like, come on, thought you wanted to do this for years. Put an axe in me. So anyway, I was in that very briefly. Sprout I had a little more dialogue in that. I was like the bad, mean general. You know what? I'll send you a picture of me in Sprout.
I have to add these 3 films to my list of things to catch this weekend.
If you want to.
I want to.
And Death Comes at Nightfall. I love that. My role in that. That's a great movie. And the movie's great too. Okay, enough of that. What are you watching? So let's start with Highest to Lowest. Is that the name of the film?
That is the name of the film.
What's that about?
That is Spike Lee and Denzel Washington back together again. Jeffrey Wright. Denzel plays a music mogul. And maybe A$AP Rocky is some young protege who wants him to take him onto his record company. And it's a whole...
So is Denzel's role, is it illegal? Does he engage in illegal activity? Because I love his characters when he's the bad guy.
When he's really a bad guy.
Yeah.
No, he's a family guy this time.
Oh, really?
Good.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
I like it. I like it.
He has a complete family without giving it all away. Maybe there's a kidnapping involved.
Maybe.
Jeffrey Wright is his driver because he's a music mogul. He needs a driver.
Yeah.
I love Jeffrey Wright.
Me too.
He is phenomenal. Not that I don't love Denzel, I do, but not as much as I love Jeffrey.
Jeffrey Wright's roles, though, like he was a really bad guy in Boardwalk Empire.
Yes.
He played a role in what's it called, Westworld?
Yes.
Is it Westworld?
Mm-hmm.
Great character there. He's one of those characters. He's like a Charles Durning.
Yes.
Right? He's like a modern day Charles Durning.
I love that. I love, yes.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. So that is it good?
So, I mean, it's good. It took Spike and Denzel a little bit in the first act of that film to get it rolling.
Yeah.
Right? So,
I give you 30 minutes. If there's no explosions or death or something, in 30 minutes, I'm out.
When you give me things to watch, I've picked up on that little thing. There's got to be lots of action. Not a lot of suspense, but a lot of action
Absolutely.
for
Hook
you.
me in. Hook
right?
me in.
Right.
So how many popcorns?
We're giving that one 3.5 out of 5.
That's not bad.
You can go to the weekend. Yeah, go this weekend and catch it in the movie theaters, please. Anybody who loves those 2 people, you have to go.
East of Wall. Is that the name of that movie?
East of Wall.
What's with these crazy
Yes.
names? Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is a semi-biographical story. Actually, the Tabitha Dominga, who is the lead actress, and her daughter Portia actually played themselves in the film. And they actually capture horses out west. And and they break them and they sell them. And that's how she's making a living for her and her family after her husband passes away.
And all of that's real?
All of that's real. The only part of the storyline that isn't real is Scoot McNairy comes along to try to save them. And of course, she doesn't let him. Right.
Of course.
Right. And there's a bunch of teenagers involved that are drawn to her that have very dysfunctional families out west. And they want her to raise them.
Yeah.
So there's lots of dynamics that are going on here.
Popcorns?
That one got 3 out of 5.
Oh, you're
I mean,
tough.
yeah.
It's okay.
The acting, these are real people, right? It was almost there. But a lot of people in the film weren't actors, right? I mean, you can tell Scoot McNairy is an actor in this movie.
Yeah.
He comes across as he knows what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, the storyline is, and if you check out on social media, there's lots of people giving them lots of accolades for this film and for their life and being willing to put it out on screen. So
Yeah, that's always risky anyway.
Right.
So Nobody 2.
Right.
I saw Nobody. You saw Nobody.
Loved
you
it.
saw Nobody.
I saw Nobody last night because once I
Okay.
saw the first one, everybody's like, I can't believe you didn't see I saw the second one. You didn't see the first one. So
Oh, okay.
I saw it last night. And what I'm going to tell you is the first one's better.
Okay. It was good.
It was good. It was really good. Once again, without giving too much of it away, the first one we went against Russians. Yeah, that was loads of fun.
Always fun
And
to
like
go
you
against
said, the
Russians.
bus scene in the
Yeah,
first film.
Oh man.
Unbelievable. And Bob Odenkirk is so good at playing someone who is unassuming. You would never see him as an action person, right? As a hired assassin. The thing that I will tell you with Nobody 2 is they pretty much pick up where they left off. It has the same kind of feel, the same kind of, Connie Nielsen's back as his wife, his kids are back. The quirk in the movie is Sharon Stone. Sharon Stone is back is back. Sharon Stone is the nemesis in Nobody 2.
What I love about Bob Odenkirk is like in Breaking Bad, for example. You look at him, if you don't hear him talk or act, you just look at him, you think, what a dweeby guy.
Right, who's this guy?
But then all of a sudden he comes out of like a fireball lawyer, and he's telling these guys to go pound sand, right? In this role, it's the exact opposite type of character, but it's the same thing. You look at him, you think, well, actually, it's part of his character is that he's nobody,
right?
Hence the name,
right?
And then he is somebody.
Absolutely. I mean, he's so good at playing those type of characters. I mean, I really struggled with what I was going to rate this because a movie as a whole, the first movie has so much storyline and so much character development and so much involved, even for Christopher Lloyd. In the second movie, Christopher Lloyd is kind of mundane, kind of until the end of the film. He's not
That's
really.
how it wasn't Nobody. He was just till the end of the film.
Right.
Except that one scene when he's sitting in front of the television set
Right.
and takes care of those two guys. Oh my God. That comes up on YouTube. all the
And his
time.
brother's back. And like I said, everybody's back to, do their thing once again. The thing that, once again, spoiler alert, his wife has a very intriguing part in the Nobody 2 film that pops in theaters today. It's very intriguing. So I just have a distinct feeling we're going to get a Nobody 3.
Oh, jeez.
If there is a 3, then that better be darn good.
It's fine. Whatever. How many popcorns? Nobody.
That one
2.
gave 2.5 out of 5.
That's okay. You're tough.
I know.
All right. So
what have you been watching?
My old thing that I watched was The Highwayman with Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson. Have you seen that? This movie is so unique because they're after Bonnie and Clyde, and you hardly see Bonnie and Clyde in the movie at all. I mean, it's really kind of cool how they're focusing on these two guys. True story. These two guys are real guys.
Yes.
And so that part's great. The acting was great. The only thing I didn't like was that Woody Harrelson called Kevin Costner Poncho. It was such a stupid nickname for him. I just didn't like it. I don't know.
Right. And I didn't look it up. I'm hoping that's maybe what they really called one another. I don't know. But it was awkward. Like even when he said it, it was awkward.
I'm glad you said that. It's way awkward. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, but the movie as a whole is fantastic.
Great movie.
Right?
Loved it.
Yes. 2019.
So why do you think they would have called him Poncho then? I mean,
no, it was not. They didn't. He did.
Oh,
like it was Woody Harrelson's little nickname for Kevin Costner. Watch out, Poncho. Where are you going, Poncho? And I'm like, I don't like that.
Oh, okay.
I just don't like that. Now, I love when it comes to nicknames for someone, especially with the Spanish flair, is in Landman when Billy Bob Thornton's son, his girlfriend calls him Flaco,
right?
Which means skinny in Spanish because the kid's really skinny. And when I took Spanish in 7th grade, they gave us a book called Gordo y Flaco, which is fat and skinny.
Oh,
and that's what we went to. All right. So anyway,
wow, he's such a wealth of information
I know.
all the time.
Yep.
All right, enough of that. Dexter Resurrection. I went into this saying, God, I hope this is good. This is like the fourth different Dexter thing.
Right.
You had the original.
Mm-hmm.
You had when he went up to Maine, right, and was the killer up there. The one where different characters play all the different actors play all the characters from the past, and now this new one. So I went into it like, oh God, it better be good, and it really is, because Angel Batista came up from Miami because he truly believes that Dexter was the Bay Harbor Butcher.
Okay.
Which he was, of course, we find out. But it's, I really, really like it. I really do.
You know, you asked me to watch it, and I'm falling behind because I thought I could only see it on Showtime. And my husband said, no more streaming services. My God, we have a TV full of them. Anyway, I said, well, we could get that off of the DirecTV, right? It's not another streaming service. Anyway, but Vic very politely told me this morning I can watch it on Paramount. So now I have more homework this weekend. Now, if I'm doing my homework, you guys got to do yours.
Which is what? What do you want me to watch?
I'm writing it down.
Anything specific?
Did you guys start watching Chief of War?
No.
Apple TV Plus.
I don't have it. Can't watch it.
See,
don't have it.
now he's going to lay
I
that on
don't.
me.
I don't have it. I don't have that.
I don't have that.
All right. Well, I won't give you guys any homework because I'm going to the movie theaters this weekend.
Nah.
Every once in a while, we have to get you into a movie theater.
Yeah.
I will tell you
I
something
agree with that.
I swear
Take your wives for a day. Just saying.
my wife hates the movies. That's one problem.
Oh, okay.
Second thing is, I swear to God, you can call my wife and ask her unsolicited. More than 35 years ago, my idea, Lazy Boy theaters. You have Lazy Boy co-op with the movie companies, and every seat's like a recliner Lazy Boy, which is what it is.
I can believe that was your idea.
Yeah, and why didn't you share that? Or
who was I going to tell?
I don't know. AMC, Marcus, one of those people who did it.
Well, how about Warenberg here in St. Louis up
There you
until,
go.
recently?
Up until recently.
Well, I was calling Warenberg, but they didn't hear me because I was going, Warenberg.
Love it. Love it.
I also had the idea for Cartoon Network before it was a thing. And my Cartoon Network would have had, all the Looney Tunes 10-minute videos all day. And then at night would have the Flintstones and the half-an-hour shows like the Jetsons. And I even wanted to have like a Johnny Carson type of character, a talk show, where our character would interview actual cartoon characters, like Mickey Mouse would come on as a guest and stuff.
You could have had that idea with the cartoons sitting in your Lazy Boy watching it on this big
right,
screen.
Ken?
And then look at him go.
Put mayonnaise in the fish.
Yeah. I got ripped off.
Yeah, you gotta figure out a way to share these ideas without other people stealing them. That's the
whole
key,
thing.
right?
Plus, you got to know somebody. I was just a stupid fat Italian at the time.
Never.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
Kathy
Thank you for
Kaiser.
having me.
That's What Are You Watching?
What are you watching?
Ken, did you get left out of that? Was there something you're watching that I'm not watching?
No.
Okay, good. All right, when we come back, it's Friday and Thursday. My God, Ken, I need a Miller.
It is Miller time coming up.
Right?
It is.
Okay, it's
It is.
5 o'clock somewhere. Miller time is next on NewstalkSTL. Welcome home.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter.
Doesn't matter what I say.
Vic and Ken,
They don't know what the they're doing.
The Vic Porcelli Show on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
In a truth of best reflection. But I'll trade nothing so far.
All right, so we brought up the word goober. Did you notice, Ken, with Susie Morse?
I did, yeah.
The original goobers are the ones who come to your house after a storm and tell you that they got this great roofing company and they're going to fix your roof for you, and then they disappear. It's like whoosh, they disappear.
Whoosh.
Whoosh. They disappear.
Yeah.
And that's why God invented Connor Roofing, because Kathy and Rob Connor are not just great at what they do, but they want to know from you exactly how did they do. Does Goober do that? No, he doesn't even show up for the job, takes your money and runs. Or if he does do the job, you're like, really? Check the reviews. Go to Google Reviews. Find out exactly what people are saying about Connor Roofing for yourself and go to their website. It's connorroofing.com, CONNER roofing.com.
On the next
Larry Connors USA.
Today, an update on Trump fighting crime in D.C. using the National Guard and the Metropolitan Police.
Larry Connors USA. Now, weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL.
You and I might have something in common. Back pain. I can tell you where I go for help. Esquire Sports Medicine, the spine of St. Louis. They can put athletes back on the field so they can clearly help us. Esquire Sports Medicine, hands-on chiropractic help on Big Bend, just north of Highway 40. 314-644-0885. EsquireSportsMedicine.com. EsquireSportsMedicine.com.
Hey there, Tim Jones here. When life changes, you need someone you can trust. That's Todd Sivia. At Sivia Law, they're dedicated to helping you through all of life's transitions, specializing in estate planning and elder law. With 7 convenient locations in the area, expert guidance is always close by. Call 833-995-WILL, 833-995-WILL, or visit CiviaLaw.com. Don't forget, first 10 people that tell them Tim Jones sent me get a free $300 strategy session. Sivia Law, helping you protect what matters most.
Hello, I'm Missouri State Treasurer Vivek Malik. August 14th is National Able Savings Day, a time to highlight how able accounts empower individuals with disabilities. Our More Able program helps Missourians save for everyday needs without losing public benefits. To celebrate, we are offering a $25 match for anyone who opens a new account in August. Earnings grow tax-free and contributions qualify for a state tax reduction. Let's help more Missourians build financial independence. Learn more at moreable.com.
Paid for by the Missouri State Treasurer's Office. JC's Wayback Machine.
It was this week in 1988 we broke into Mike Bush's house. I'll play it back for you. Model turned actress Angie Harmon talks about Texas fire ants and her lovely keister, and we'll remember Elvis on the 48th anniversary of him falling off the can. All that plus great tunes from the 90s, 80s, and 70s you can't hear anywhere else. All brought to you by the Weber Automotive Group.
It's JC's Wayback Machine. Every Saturday night, 6 to 9 on News Talk STL.
Fox News commentary.
There's been a lot of discussion on how to tackle the crime crisis this week. I'm Tommy Lahren, and I'll give you my thoughts next.
You think your 401k is safe, growing, reliable. But here's the truth. The 401k was never designed to make you wealthy. It was built to shift risk onto you, leaving your retirement exposed to Wall Street crashes, inflation, and chaos. Noble Gold helps Americans roll over part of their 401k into real physical gold. Tax advantage, penalty-free, and shockproof. Get your free wealth protection kit now at noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Democrats seem to think yoga and arts and crafts will fix the culture of lawlessness, but that's not cutting it. They and their activist DAs believe we can't arrest our way out of a crime crisis, but locking bad people up, sending in more law enforcement, and prosecuting crimes to the fullest extent actually is what solves crime. If these bleeding heart liberals want to talk about other factors, well, let's go down that path. Fatherless homes are the biggest contributing social factor to our crime crisis, but they are quite clearly not interested in solving that either. So I guess arresting our way out of the problem it is. Why do Democrats always have the most compassion for the perpetrator instead of the victim? I'm sure you all have noticed that, right? They coddle the felons, the illegal immigrants, the degenerates, the thugs, and they leave the rest of us good and decent people to fend for ourselves. They also conveniently don't want us to arm ourselves. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show, Tommy Lahren is Fearless, at Outkick.com.
It's Friday!
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. Vic and Ken. Vic smokes cigarettes. Ken smokes briskets. The Vic Porcelli Show on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Brisket's much more delicious than cigarettes. Welcome to this. Is that cranberry?
Yeah.
Dolores O'Riordan, she had some kind of something happened to her. Like she didn't die in a car accident, I don't think, or anything.
I thought she killed herself.
Oh my God, I did not know that.
But do you remember the concert we did with them?
Well,
It was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had.
Are you talking about the actual concert or the River Lounge thing?
I'm talking about the River Lounge where
Yeah.
we had beanbags for 25 listeners.
Oh my God!
And then we all get on these beanbag chairs, everybody, and it's a small area. It filled the room. And we look up on the stage. There is Dolores O'Riordan and the Cranberry. And remember, she said, "It's not the Cranberries; it's Cranberries."
Yeah,
yeah.
And she was so nice to us.
Oh, so sweet.
She was a very nice interview, and of course, she had a great career. And I think that was at Guitar Center.
I think it was
because it took us a while to find the home of the Duck Room, which we did it at the Duck Room.
Yes.
And the Duck Room was just the perfect, absolute perfect venue. So Dolores O'Riordan on January 15th, 2018 was found unresponsive in the bathroom of a London hotel room, pronounced dead. She was 46. She died as a result of accidental drowning in the bath following sedation by alcohol intoxication. So it could have been a suicide thing.
It could have been.
But she was just so nice, and she was
so
great.
sweet. Yeah.
All right, let's up. I'm thirsty. Let's go. Miller time. Let's go.
Welcome to Miller Time.
It's Miller time. Miller time. Miller time.
Stephen Miller is the guy who comes in and pinch hits in the bottom of the ninth, like Kirk Gibson in the 1988 World Series, and hits the home run.
All right.
And then limps around the field. Because when you need the big guns to shut up the press and shut up the Democrats, you call on Stephen Miller. So this is just a confidence, a stamp of confidence by Stephen Miller for the Department of Justice. Ken, give me a Miller.
Miller time.
I have complete confidence in the Department of Justice to follow these facts, to follow this new, further avalanche of evidence, and to take all the necessary legal steps to ensure that the wrongdoers, the coup plotters, the schemers, and the insurrectionists are held fully accountable under the laws and Constitution of these United States.
That's what I like about him. I mean, he's saying, I'm not letting go.
Yeah.
He's on the offensive, and that's what I like.
And I like, do batters or whatever he said.
Can
you play it again? I love all those words. He's a wrongdoers.
And to take all the necessary legal steps to ensure that the wrongdoers, the coup plotters.
Yeah, the wrongdoers, the coup plotters.
There was
the schemers and the insurrectionists are held.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, Stephen Miller. Talking about we found a deep stater throwing a sandwich at an ICE agent, right?
Right.
So there's deep staters definitely still in the government.
Oh, they're everywhere.
It's hard to find them all.
Like whack-a-mole.
Stephen Miller and the DOJ are looking for him. Ken, give me a Miller.
Miller time.
So I have every hope and expectation that the Department of Justice, under the leadership of our courageous Attorney General, will follow these facts and follow the evidence and deliver justice. Because if we have a country where we can continue to have FBI careerists and CIA careerists, deep staters who will fabricate and doctor evidence, who will create and produce fake material, fabricated material, phony information to try to go after their political enemies up to and including the president. If we continue to create the impression and the reality that there is not a severe criminal penalty for such conduct, it will never stop. It will never desist. It will keep on going forever. And we will continue to have a country that is sabotaged endlessly by the production of fake documents, fake material, fake plots against democratically elected officials. We can't have that. There must be consequences.
How many times have we talked about that, Vic?
Every day. And, Stephen Miller, he almost had to say, there. I don't know if you noticed. He had to pause. It must be something that against his religion to say the word
right,
because he never ever does. This one I love. This one is about the conspiracy, the coup attempt on President Trump?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So is there a statute of limitations? Well, maybe not. Ken, give me a Miller.
Miller time.
Several of the statutes I mentioned, we have not even come close to eclipsing the statute of limitations. But more than that, it is an ongoing and continuing conspiracy. It continued through the entirety of President Trump's first term. It continued through the entirety of President Biden's term in office, and it continues to this day. There are still deep state coup plotters who are trying to conceal and hide this information on behalf of the people they are protecting. There are still staffers in Democrat offices who know the full truth, who are concealing that truth. So all of this behavior, all of this conduct collectively means the conspiracy hasn't ended, is ongoing.
Right.
Comey in particular has throughout the years engaged in conduct and lies, public statements, and testimony in front of Congress. False testimony whose sole purpose was to perpetuate and continue the conspiracy.
So what I'm getting from that, Vic, is that if it is considered a quote unquote conspiracy, it does not have a time limit on it.
But with the conspiracy continuing, keeps that window of statute of limitations open because the back end is now much more recent than when it started.
Correct. So theoretically, as they try to keep on denying and saying, oh, they're just a bunch of crazy people, that they're actually continuing it.
All right. Exactly right, Kenny. All right. We got time for one more?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do one more. Tax reform, largest tax cut and reform in American history, thanks to President Trump. Ken, give me a Miller.
Number 4.
Oh, sorry, 14.
Miller time.
The economy was on its deathbed when President Trump came into the Oval Office. Joe Biden and the Democrats and whoever was running the White House, be it the Autopen or anyone else, had suffocated the life out of the American economy. The worst inflation we've ever seen, soaring energy prices, no investment, no innovation, losing out to the world, and the drastic overregulation of every segment and facet of the American economy. President Trump came in. Now we have the largest tax cut and reform in American history. We have the most pro-energy agenda in American history. Lee Zeldin, the head of the EPA, just did the largest energy deregulation action in American history.
You know, Ken, the things that President Trump planned for this term in office was to help Americans, right? Tax cuts. Oh, by the way, not just tax cuts for you and me and conservative people, tax cuts for everybody.
Everybody.
You know? And the left, the Chuck Schumers, the Gavin Newsoms, and all the Hakeem Jeffries of the world, they're making it sound like it's bad. Like, what would you rather have? Would you rather have high taxes? Would you rather have Marxism in New York City? I mean, when are they going to think about what actually is good for the American people?
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I don't know how they can run on this. I hope they do. Because, but what we're finding out, Vic, and this is audio we could play later. It's Hakeem Jeffries that I showed you.
We can do it now. We got time now.
We got time. Okay, let's do it then, because it's really important. Because Hakeem Jeffries is basically saying here that he's saying, okay, no, forget what happened the last 4 years. That wasn't an illusion. That was a mirage.
Right.
What we really are about are just making the American people wealthy again.
Okay, so as a very special guest on Miller Time, it's House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
Miller time.
And how do you think about the message of socialism or being a socialist and what that may portend for the Democratic Party?
Well, I think, as I indicated, listen, my view about what we as Democrats stand for, what we're fighting for, we need to lower the high cost of living in the United States of America. We need to fix our broken healthcare system, and we need to clean up corruption in Washington, D.C., so we actually have a government that works for the American people, for everyday Americans, for hardworking American taxpayers, as opposed to working for the privileged few. That's what that one big ugly bill was about. Cut healthcare, devastate nutritional assistance, reward Republican billionaire donors with massive tax breaks. That's not us as Democrats. Here in this country, work hard, play by the rules. You should be able to afford to live the good life.
So let's go through a couple of those.
Well, first of all, he didn't answer the question.
Of course not. No, he did not. They never do. Tax cuts, that's more money in people's pockets. What's so hard to understand about that? And we're not going to say, oh, no tax cuts for you Democrat voters. It's for everybody. Tax cuts for everybody.
Oh, exactly right.
Healthcare costs. Okay. In our house, the big phrase is Affordable Care Act. Can't afford it.
Right.
And corruption.
Oh yeah, they're the party of law and order now.
Pot, meat, kettle.
Isn't this amazing what he's trying to say there? Yeah. And housing. What about housing? Inflation went to 9.1% under the Democrat Party. Okay, period. That is something they have to own. They have to own it. It's there. It was there. And that means people were actually pushed out of the market.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't afford it.
And let me tell you, you got to be a special horse's ass to get a guest shot in Miller time. So Hakeem Jeffries is a,
yeah, right.
Horse's ass.
A big time horse's ass. A big horse's ass.
It's good. No more Miller time. It's
all
over.
Right.
Bars closed. Last call.
Miller time. Miller time. Miller time.
It's the greatest intro of anything ever in the history of radio, Ken.
Thanks, Vic. That's quite a statement. I appreciate it.
It really is great, especially the opening. When you sewed together the beginning and the end of this is Jungle Love, right? This is
Jungle
Love.
Oh yeah.
It's like the beginning and then the end notes. You sewed them together on a Singer sewing machine, and it just sounds great. Sounds great. Okay, tomorrow night is JC's Wayback Machine, 6 to 9 o'clock. JC, he gets a little annoyed when what do you
about like everything?
That's true. That's true. That's true. Let me rephrase it. JC gets annoyed about everything, but he can't fit everything into a 3-hour show.
No, he can't.
So one of the things that aggravates him is why in St. Louis radio did you guys play songs and then all of a sudden you throw them out and you don't play them anymore? There was a reason why you played them to begin with.
Right.
See, that's part of, I think, every music jock's problem with consultants and, we played it when it was. Why did you play it at all then if you didn't think it was a good record?
Right.
So JC plays them in between 6 and 9 o'clock. It's called the Wayback Machine. He's got some A-list interviews in there, and you got to give him credit, man. He had some A-list interviews.
Oh, big
in his
time.
career.
Yes.
And some of the crazy antics on JC and the Breakfast Club here in St. Louis. Tomorrow night, 6 to 9 o'clock, JC's Wayback Machine, brought to you by Weber Automotive Group. All right, Patrick Tuohey from the Show Me Institute. Does he box? I know that David Stokes is
I don't know.
We'll
might want to ask him. He might have to.
We'll talk to him next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, number 1 for live and local conservative talk.
Whoosh. You have a phone, you have a radio.
Wherever I'm at, home, car, wherever.
Download the all-new News Talk STL app.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
Just a convenience on the phone. Streaming live on the mobile app.
Love the new app.
And listen anytime,
Everywhere.
anywhere.
Well, it is definitely summer here in the heartland. Time to call Hanson's Tree Service for all of your commercial and residential tree care. Tim Jones here for Hanson's Tree Service. Let them come out to your homestead or your business today. Take care of everything regarding the exterior of your home. Grinding and land clearing, all residential and commercial tree services. They've got fantastic organic mulch in bulk, plant health care as well. Give them a call, 636-379-1830, 24/7. They're always available at hansonstree.com. That's hansonstree.com.
Hey, St. Louis golfers, looking for a new golfing experience? Sugar Creek Golf Course was voted the most popular golf course in St. Louis. Book your tee time today at sugarcreekgolfcourse.com and join the fastest growing golf community in town, sugarcreekgolfcourse.com.
Looking for a hardware store that treats you like family? Welcome to True Value Schneider's Hardware, your local gem in Old Town St. Peters. For over 100 years, we're proudly serve you St. Charles County, providing everything from lawn and garden supplies to plumbing and electrical. Need a bolt or fastener? We've got you covered. And don't forget, we're a steel dealership. Whether you need sales, parts, or service, ask for Charlie or Jerry when you come in. We're here to help. Call 636-278-4461 or visit us online at truevalue.com/Schneiders.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefontaine, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 101.9, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. President Trump is on his way to Anchorage for a high-stakes summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin at a U.S. military base. The president believes both the Russian and Ukrainian leaders are ready to make peace. White House correspondent Greg Clugston.
The president sees his summit with Russia's Vladimir Putin as the first step toward ending the war.
I think President Putin will make peace. I think President Zelensky will make peace.
But he says peace would likely require at least a second meeting involving Ukrainian President Zelensky.
We're going to have a meeting with President Putin, President Zelensky, myself.
European leaders are concerned that Zelensky is not being represented in today's meeting in Alaska. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Washington is seeking an emergency restraining order to block President Trump's takeover of its police department. District of Columbia Attorney General Brian Schwab filed a lawsuit after Attorney General Pam Bondi named an emergency police commissioner with all the powers of the police chief. A political standoff in Texas over proposed House maps that could hand Republicans 5 new seats is poised to enter a new phase today, while heavily Democratic California plans to release its own new maps intended to erase all but a sprinkle of the state's GOP House districts in the fight over control of Congress.
In California, Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom said his state will hold a November 4th special election to seek approval of redrawn districts intended to give Democrats 5 more U.S. House seats and a counterpunch to undercut any gains in Texas.
Congressional correspondent Bernie Bennett. On Wall Street, stocks hanging around their records as markets hope for another winning week. The Dow is ahead 95 points, but the NASDAQ composite is 97 in the red. More on these stories at townhall.com.
A couple years ago, I was in the bathroom at the airport when I dropped my smartphone in the toilet. Not smart. I was multitasking when I should have been focused on the job at hand. Embarrassing, but I'm not alone. According to Google, 7 million other multitaskers accidentally dropped their phones into the bowl last year. A gentle reminder that right now you can get yourself a brand new Samsung Galaxy A36 absolutely free with a $35 plan from Pure Talk. The A36 comes with scratch-resistant Gorilla Glass and a battery that'll last all day, along with unlimited talk, text, and data on America's most dependable 5G network. In other words, it's tough and smart. Something to think about next time you're multitasking and the necessary. Just dial pound 250, say keyword micro to get your free phone today. You can make the switch in just 10 minutes. That's pound 250. Say micro to switch to a no-nonsense smartphone and a company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Psst. Want to hear the best kept secret in St. Louis? Steph's Pizza. We're not afraid to compare squares. According to our customers, we have the best St. Louis style pizza anywhere, and we can't disagree. Dine in, pick up, or delivery in St. Peter's, St. Charles, Lake St. Louis on Pond Fort Trail, and the original Stefanina's in O'Fallon on Veterans Memorial Parkway. Check us out at Steph'sPizza.com. Steph's Pizza. We're not afraid to compare squares.
Hey, folks, the Clayton Sleep Institute and my friend Dr. Ojal back supporting free common sense conservative radio. ClaytonSleep.com, treating the full range of adult and pediatric sleep disorders from sleep apnea to insomnia, restless leg syndrome, periodic limb movement, and narcolepsy. What an awesome place. New comfy setting for the sleep lab. ClaytonSleep.com, 314-645-5855. Better sleep, better life.
You've worked hard for your money, so protect it. Meet my friend Bob Leslie and ask about the Gain and Retain Plan. Leslie Consulting, 40 years in the St. Louis area as a leader in brokerage and risk management. Call 314-721-0066, 721-0066. Oh, and ask Bob how he was the LA Dodger #1 pick. LeslieConsulting.com.
Escape to Stone Ledge Distillery in historic Defiance, Missouri, where Missouri-made spirits meet unforgettable experiences. Sip handcrafted cocktails and martinis in our lounge, unwind in the private cigar room, or soak up the outdoors on our outdoor patio and live music stage. Celebrate Stolock Ozark Highlands whiskey, Inversion vodka, and the best of Missouri spirits. One drink at a time. Mention News Talk STL and get 10% off your tab. Visit StoneLedgeDistillery.com. Your getaway starts here.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by the Trolley Stop Bakery, the official bakery of the Vic Porcelli Show. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
A 3-hour tour, a 3-hour tour. The weather started getting rough.
We squeeze in a dry hump day under partly sunny skies.
From New Jersey to Baldwin, Missouri, two behind the microphone, taking the whoosh to the radical left and the putrid swamp. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show. Here he is, Vic Porcelli.
Thank you, Mr. Dan Bongino Show announcer guy. Appreciate that. Hey, Ken, it's Friday, man.
It is Friday, man.
You know, we need a.
It's Friday.
Thank you. Don't forget, I'm not coming in for the next 2 days. No way. No way. All right. Let's get rolling. Patrick Tuohey from the Show Me Institute. Patrick, welcome back to the show. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, and let me put the kibosh on this. I do not box. I don't know what that's about, but not a boxer.
Who asked you that?
You did.
When?
Right before we went to break. He said, I wonder if Patrick boxes.
So does that mean you're listening to the show?
Of course.
I like that part. No, what happened there?
Are you surprised that people are listening to your show?
Sometimes. Sometimes I am surprised that anyone would bother to listen. But yes, thank you very much for doing that. So the boxing thing. David Stokes, who we talk to nearly every Friday from the great Show Me Institute, told us one time that he boxed when he was a kid, you know. And when I was in the East Coast, everybody who boxed in the Golden Gloves. I don't think he did that. And I don't think he had a very good record either. He didn't win too many fights. But he is the heavyweight champion of municipal policy, David Stokes. And that's the way we introduce him every Friday.
Look, I don't think getting beat up in elementary school is the same as boxing, but that's the story David's going with.
That's good.
Man,
that was
I love
really
it.
good.
So do you have anything that you did in your past that we can, spice up your
Feed off
intro?
of?
I debated in high school. I mean, of course I did. No, I didn't do anything worthwhile.
Debating's pretty
The
worthwhile.
debater. Well, that's very worthwhile, but it's hard to
Work on it.
reproduce.
Work on the word debater with,
Right.
Patrick for the next time. All right. So
I can't use the master part of it though.
The guy.
The debater.
Stop. Come on.
Stop it. Do you hear Patrick saying?
I didn't put them together.
Some people go for the difficult jokes, but here we go for the easy, the low-hanging fruit.
Low-hanging fruit.
Ken goes right in the gutter
You
right
got
away.
that right.
Right in the gutter. All right. So the New York mayoral candidate Mamdani, he wants to have food stores, Patrick, just like what's the name of a Sunfresh store in Kansas City, which guess what? Went out of business because of the same policy, right?
Yeah, it wasn't a government-run store, but it felt like that. We spent millions of dollars to rehab a shell of a store that had sat vacant for 10 years. We opened it up maybe 8 or 9 years ago. I have to say, I wrote at the time in 2015 that this will fail, and everybody will be poorer for it, and the underlying problems of crime, public safety, of infrastructure will go unsolved and unaddressed. And that's exactly where we are now. Everyone should have seen this coming. And it's not because, there are grocery stores in the area that received, subsidies, tips, and stuff like that. But the biggest problem with government-run anything, perhaps, is that you miss out on collecting a lot of really important information. And you, I want to say, distract, you create the wrong incentive. So, for example, if you're opening up a grocery store, you are looking to provide the products that the immediate neighbors want. You're looking to do so as cost efficiently as possible. And you're paying attention to, what's being bought. You discontinue stuff that doesn't sell. You buy more of stuff that's flying off the shelves. But when you introduce government funding, you distort that whole sense of information. I suspect, one of the stories here in Kansas City said that the Sunfresh failed despite government funding. I think it failed in part because of government funding.
Yeah.
Because what happened was when you're receiving government funds, what you want, what politicians want is a big ribbon cutting. They want a very attractive looking store. They want a store with big, counters of produce and stuff like that. And that's not necessarily what the community wants. And so what happened was we built this beautiful grocery store and then never provided the public safety, the transit that the area needed. And so, of course, it failed.
Well,
and it's heartbreaking because, like so many times in maybe left center city governments, no lessons will be learned.
Exactly right. And you know why? Because the Democrats have a bad memory, Patrick. I mean, whether it's Mamdani, whether it's in Kansas City, San Francisco, Minnesota, the mayor over there, no matter where it is, they always feel like on the left, on the Democrat side, and they're getting more and more socialist as we go along. They think that they have a different version of socialism. It's always a better we have a better version. We're going to do it right this time, and it never works out.
Well, let me broaden that a bit, because I don't think it's necessarily just Democrats. Republicans are bad on this too.
I agree with that.
Not necessarily grocery stores, but here's, I think, the crux of the problem. People want to look like they mean well, and they pay less attention to, are they actually doing well? And so you open, and it goes for all sorts of policies. People act because they want to seem compassionate. They want to seem like they are doing something. They want to seem like they are reacting to public demand, and they can do that. They want to focus less on what were the actual results. And so the ugly job of people like myself and David Stokes and others in policy is to say, look, I know it may not be sexy. I know it may not be fun, but you really have to pay attention to the results you're getting. And that's again, it's not sexy. It's not the kind of thing that lends itself to ribbon cuttings and grand openings.
And who gets screwed in the end? The taxpayer, right? Taxpayer subsidized store. It goes out of business. Guess what? We lost again.
Well, you're right. Taxpayers certainly take a hit, but think about the people in that community.
Right.
They were promised some sort of help. Again, they're no better off. They're worse off. And so the frustrating part, again, I'm right of center, but the frustrating part is if you even judge activist left of center politicians by their own priorities, they have failed. Never mind that they've delivered efficient government or that they've been a good steward of taxpayer dollars. That's not necessarily their concern. If you judge them by what their stated goals are, which are helping people in need, they have failed. And again, it's not enough to mean well. There are things that Kansas City and St. Louis could do to improve services to all parts of town. And again, it's the tough job of public safety, of infrastructure, cutting the grass, cleaning graffiti, making sure the street lights work. But that is legitimately tough work. And sometimes they just want to go for the pretty photo op that makes them feel good about themselves.
Sometimes, Patrick, we're talking to Patrick Tuohey from the Show Me Institute. Sometimes we need to look for the warning signs on stuff, because you called it in 2015 that this store wouldn't make it. It would go under. It has. You were right. And I think Show Me, you guys do it all the time. But somebody needs to tell the rest of America to look for the warning signs like anti-capitalism language and just steer clear of it.
Yeah, that would be obvious.
Look, you are right, but I was listening to a podcast the other day, and somebody made the point, and maybe it was George Will, maybe it was somebody else. They just said, we have to learn these lessons every 20 or so years. The idea that, because we kind of learned the lessons of government overreach maybe in the 70s, or malaise or out of control crime in the 70s, that therefore lessons are always learned. But they're not, because the people who grew up in a safe New York, perhaps, or a wealthy New York, think, there's injustice, so we need more government management, and then we're thrown right back into kind of a situation where crime and urban well-being is let to decline. So I think it's the job of conservatives to understand that these fights are never won forever. We have to continually remind people of what the free market brings us. And yes, you can certainly find all sorts of examples of, injustice resulting from freedom, but they have to be reminded that the alternatives are even worse. And maybe we need to have mayors like Mamdani in New York to remind us, like, oh, right, this is what it could be if we, if we just think that the government is there to spend everybody's money.
And I think that's exactly what George Will said in that podcast. He hopes Mamdani wins to watch New York City crumble, to show people, look, this is not the way to go. But that's a very expensive lesson to learn, isn't it?
Oh, it is. And it's going to result in a lot of hardship and unpleasantness, maybe loss of life, increased poverty for the people there. It's a very expensive lesson to learn. I like your point. Maybe it's just a matter of reminding ourselves when we start hearing particular watchwords, grab onto your wallet. But, maybe experience is the only way we can learn this. I hope it doesn't happen in New York, but look, it's not just New York. It's Chicago, it's Los Angeles, it's San Francisco, it's Seattle, it's Minneapolis, it's St. Louis, it's Kansas City. We've got to learn these lessons, and maybe experience is the only teacher.
I think all Democrat mayors of all those towns.
Yeah,
that
pretty
you
much.
I'm from New Jersey. I live 15 minutes outside of Manhattan, and I watched the rise and fall, the fall and rise, and then the fall of Manhattan and in New York City. Before Mayor Giuliani, Times Square was a rough place, and then he came in, cleaned it up. It was fine, and now it's back to where it was. And if you're going to vote for somebody that Jerry Nadler endorses, then I really think you got some problems.
While we work to take back the House in 2026 and the White House in 2028, we need Zoran Mamdani as mayor, fighting against these betrayals right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Huge crowd. Not enabling them. Every seat matters. Every race matters. And who is mayor of New York is crucial. New York City needs a leader who won't give Trump an inch, who won't flinch or bargain away our rights. With Zoran Mamdani as mayor, we'll have a leader who will defend our hospitals, our schools, and our neighbors from Trump's devastating policy.
Go, Nadler.
Was that in some black church? Is that where that went? Yeah, baby. That's right.
Go, Nadler.
So listen, Patrick, why is it, especially now that the Democrats, their only mission, they think their only objective is to fight Trump, not do their job?
Well, look, he's a compelling target. He occupies a huge amount of media attention. He's a larger-than-life player in American politics, and they cannot avoid taking the bait. But, when he takes over the D.C. police, maybe there are lots of better ways to defend that. But if as a party you make yourself look like you are defending criminals or you were defending illegal immigrants, like you just need to not take the bait with Trump so many times. And it's true of Republicans as well. Sometimes he says crazy stuff and we just need to not take the bait. But this isn't my thought. Lots of Democrats I listen to say the problem with the party right now is they really don't have a leader. And so they don't have the ability to maybe constrain themselves, or maybe because they've got a lot of people on the further left who are, again, saying compelling things, fighting. And that may be great for Democrats to feel good about themselves, but ultimately Democrats and Republicans have got to focus on what are the results we're getting. And until we do that, we're going to end up with a lot of sad mistakes.
Well, okay, Patrick, you have people like Hakeem Jeffries, you mentioned, that he was, we played it earlier today. He was questioned about Mamdani and he wouldn't answer the question. And the thing is I'm hoping, and I want to ask you, this is the question to you. Do you think that the American people are going to notice this, that the Democrat Party, they've lurched so far left, they are now socialists?
I don't know that the term socialist is going to carry a lot of weight, to be honest with you. I think what people are going to pay attention to is how much do groceries cost when they go shopping? How safe do they feel when they're walking around our cities and our neighborhoods? I think the real gut issues, the real bottom line issues, and they, I don't want to say won't, but the kind of abstract ideas about socialism, that's going to be less weighty unless it matches with their lived experience, which is, and this is true in St. Louis and in Kansas City, I just don't feel safe in some parts of town, or my neighborhood is less safe than it was before. I think that's what people are going to react to. I think that's the lesson that we've learned, for decades in the United States. And so the idea that Democrats are allowing Trump or any Republicans to frame themselves as the law and order candidate, or as the low cost candidate, or as a secure border candidate. I mean, I am not a paid consultant to either party, but I would wish the Democrats would kind of snap out of it and realize they've got to deliver. Their policies have to deliver for the American people. Posturing and sound bites and angry speeches are not a replacement for good policy.
Well, we're hoping that Republicans, conservatives go more on the offensive and not just be, defensive comments. But listen,
there are plenty of offensive Republicans out there, I promise you.
No, I didn't say offensive. I said on the offensive.
That makes a point, though.
But all the Democrats are offensive. But anyway, but here's the thing. When Chuck Schumer doesn't realize when he says things that, it's just a throwaway thing for him. But he said on TV, Washington, D.C. is perfectly safe. He didn't just say safe. He used the word perfectly. So somebody hears that and says, oh, well, let's go, honey. Let's take a walk at night down through, and then get mugged and killed. It's dangerous talk, as innocuous as it sounds.
Yeah, again, it's that gut feeling. And look, let me say this. My colleague Susan Pendergrass have been looking at crime statistics in St. Louis. And when St. Louis's leaders say that crime is down, they're not wrong. In many respects, crime in St. Louis is down and it's getting better. However, the feeling people have when they walk around the neighborhood, the feeling of safety or the perception of crime, is a lagging indicator. It may take D.C. many more years of reducing crime before the public catches up. So again, I understand that someone like Chuck Schumer, by the way, who probably lives in a nice neighborhood, has a driver and has his own security. He may feel safe, but the other people there, including, Democrat voters in D.C. who live there, they don't feel safe. And so it's not enough to just point at the data. People have to understand that you're delivering on policy, and that takes years.
All right. Patrick, great conversation. Really appreciate your time today. ShowMeInstitute.org is where we can find you and Stokes and Pendergrass and all you great people with a lot of smart things to say. Thank you so much, Patrick.
Thank you. Take care.
Yeah, thanks, Patrick.
I don't think it's okay for Chuck Schumer to get on television and say D.C. is perfectly safe.
It's a great point, Vic. No, that was a really good point, because you've got, again, low information vote, not dumb voters, but low information voters who get their information from nightly news where Chuck Schumer says that.
And other Democrats are saying D.C. is not as bad as you're saying. The crime rate's down, right? They're talking about how the crime rates are down. So if there's a crime rate that's down, there's still a crime rate. There's still crime.
So honey, the crime rate's down. Let's go out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, but he went further to say perfectly safe.
Perfectly safe.
What a dick. All right. You want chat box next?
Yeah.
What? Was that out loud?
No. Yeah.
Oh my God. Chat box is next. Can you turn this up, Ken? I love this song so much. My mind. This is
the fact that me,
an overfed, long-haired, leaping gnome, could be the star of a Hollywood movie. Eric Burden with War. What a collaboration that was, right?
Oh, I thought his name was Dick.
Dick Burton?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
You're a dick.
My name's not Dick.
All right, let's get out of here before we get fired. Chat box is next. Eric Burden and War on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Every kind of girl. That's what I'm saying. I go.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
Live and be well.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL. St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk.
The Democratic Party doesn't stand with what I stand for.
News Talk STL.
Irrigation systems are put through the stress test throughout our hot Heartland summers when temperatures skyrocket and rain is scarce. Tim Jones here for Hydrodynamics Core, which you should call today to make sure your irrigation system is running at peak performance. This is critical to ensure your lawn and foliage remain lush and lovely and that your grass and plants thrive instead of just barely survive. Schedule a monthly system checkup today with Hydrodynamics Core to make sure your irrigation system is working at its best. That's hydrodynamicscore.com, hydrodynamicscore.com.
Connor Roofing, you can count on Connor. Connor Roofing is now a 2-time winner of the National Best of the Best Award for customer satisfaction for roofing, storm damage restoration, siding, gutters, both residential and commercial. Please visit connorroofing.com for an estimate. And remember, you can count on Connor.
Hi, Kirk Hilsinger here, and I'm the new chairman of the St. Louis Republican Central Committee. I invite you to our meetings that take place the first Thursday of every month at 3710 Hampton Avenue. You can stay connected with us to learn more about how you can get involved, make your voice heard, and contribute to our shared goals. Together, we can make a difference in the city of St. Louis and the state of Missouri. For more info, visit our new website at stl-gop.com. That's stl-gop.com.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC. Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
You want the best place to watch baseball or any sport and be able to enjoy premium cigars and whiskeys? Lit Cigar Lounge. Lit has so many events each month. You need to constantly check the Lit Cigar Lounge Facebook. You don't want to miss anything. Plus, you can order food from Napoli Brothers Pizza and Pasta, delivered within minutes right to your table. By the way, we're in the season for great patio dining. Napoli Brothers Pizza and Pasta has your table waiting.
The news and talk
our local police department will not ever cooperate with ICE
that matters to St. Louis.
More files in the Russia collusion hoax are expected to be released.
This is 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
Looking back on when I was a little nappy-headed boy.
You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
How dare you?
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Did not get the thing. We'd be happy with the joy the day would bring.
Go Vic.
I wish, Stevie Wonder. I'll say it again. From the double album, Songs in the Key of Life, which won Album of the Year in the Grammys that year. A double album, one Album of the Year.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. All right, Ken. It's chat box time, buddy. Let's go. Let's start with Facebook today. Amy says, good morning, freedom fighter, Vic Head Patriots. It's Friday.
It's Friday.
Good morning and happy Friday, gents and fellow Vic Heads. Have a great weekend, everyone. Stay safe. You too, Chief. Thank you so much.
Yeah, really.
Good morning, fam bam. Happy Friday. What's a fam bam?
I don't know, but I like it.
I do too. I think it's a reflection. What?
Is that a bam?
No, that was a doit.
Oh.
I think it's a reflection of Millie as a moral person or lack thereof. It didn't start with President Trump and name-calling. Honor was lacking. It just got called out, and Millie showed more of his innate flaws. Boy, that's some great points right there by Kimberly. Thank you so much, Kimberly. Because now that I'm thinking about it, before all that, before calling the Russian general and before the balloon, he had that whole thing on white rage, remember? He had that presentation to the military about white rage. We can't have white rage. It was a
what was the part? I always thought, what was the point of that as being a leader of the military?
Yeah, well, does it divide?
Rage.
It divides.
Yeah.
It's dividing
That's
your
all
own
it did.
troops.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a small.
Okay, yeah.
GMFFDH, good morning, Vic Head, freedom fighters. Why are Democrat voters so stupid? They're not stupid. They're no, they're not. They're low information, which is not stupid.
Oh, no, you're right. No, I was thinking of the leadership of the
No,
Democrat
absolutely,
Party.
but that's not what it says.
Oh, okay.
It says, why are Democrat voters so stupid?
Oh, I got you. Okay.
They're
Yeah.
low information, which is not stupid. It's not their fault because, you hear Schumer say D.C. is perfectly safe.
Right.
And then NBC says, well, I guess Donald Trump is wrong because NBC News reports that Chuck Schumer says that D.C. is safe.
Well, I'm
Perfectly
sure there
safe.
are a lot of stupid Democrat voters because, they have to be honest with you. But there are many with low information only.
Yep. Good Friday morning, freedom fighters. GMFFBH. Vic, if you like the shoot 'em up action packed badass ladies, have you watched Lioness on Paramount? Now, I did start watching.
Oh, did you?
Lioness.
What is that about?
At the behest of my friend Grant. It's a group of government badasses, and the main character is a female.
Oh, okay.
And she is a lioness, kind of like that female IDF lady that I love.
Yeah.
She's a lioness as well. So I'll get back on it, Leanne, just for you and Grant. Grant will be like, what? Not for me? Both you guys, okay? Also, Animal Kingdom on Prime is good. It's like Point Break in a series. Oh, okay. Whoosh, my Vic Head family. Happy Friday. Stay
Whoosh.
cool this weekend. Thank you, Mr. Stouffer. Don't you cuss on this here radio, Kathleen says.
Oh.
Did you cuss on this here radio?
I don't know. I know we said a couple names.
Wasn't
but,
me.
Don't you cuss on this here radio?
It was Ken. I
don't-
swear
don't
it was
think-
Ken.
I don't think I would do that.
Fam bam is a slang term, a playful and affectionate way to refer to one's close family or group of close friends.
Well, thank
thanks.
you. I love that.
Considered like family. It's a way of expressing strong bond and camaraderie.
It's a form of unity, you might say.
We've united thee. We've
Or
united
united
thee.
Or united.
Asia.
or
Nailed it.
Okay, yeah, just like that.
Similar to saying my people or my crew.
Yeah. I like
Now, Ken, this happened once before. I noticed there was a scooter. There was a scooter comment, and now it's disappeared. Why is that?
Where'd you go, Scooter? I don't delete anything.
I don't either.
I don't care who you are, unless it gets, if they start, I don't care what they say about me. I don't care. But when if it's addressed to another listener, I'm out. I will take it off of there. But I haven't done that. I haven't done it.
I should have wrote down what it was because I wanted to respond to it. And now I swear to God, it's not there.
Huh.
Me, Kathleen, Barbara, Tom, Leanne, Dave, Kathleen. Huh. Sorry, Scooter. I wanted to respond to your question, and you punked out on us. Ed says one O-N-E, one W-O-N.
Oh,
one.
Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. No fair election.
No peace.
No fair tariffs.
No peace.
Good morning, all you beautiful MAGA, ultra patriotic, deplorable, Carbagian, degenerate, freedom-fighting, God-fearing Vic Head weirdos, including Angelo Dundee. Good morning. It's Friday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Whose birthday is it?
Happy birthday!
Yay! Vic and Ken, I sent you an article about Trump pushing to make prescriptions in America again. So check that.
Okay.
Cindifer, good morning all from the crime-ridden state of New Mexico. I'm listening here because my phone is also a radio.
Oh.
I'll be damned.
Doggy deli, man. It sure is hot out there.
Hi, Cindifer. Hi, Ed. Ed and Cindifer. Get them a room. Get them a room. Why does D.C. even have a mayor, council, etc., since it's a federal district? Why not be managed by whatever administration is in office? What and when did it happen that they need a mayor? What a great idea.
Well, no, that's what Trump wants to do. Here's my thing, and that's what I wanted to ask Susie about, because Trump is federalizing law enforcement in Washington, D.C., and it's apparently legal for him to do so. Why are there so much obstruction with him doing that if it's legal?
Because they want the Democrats to be in charge all the time. They want every win. They want everything. It's not a city. It's the federal capital. It can't be a state. I hope there's a loophole for the Trump administration to eliminate the D.C. lib turds permanently. What's up, Larry? Ready on the right. Lock and load. Trump and Putin meet at 3 o'clock-ish our time. Vic hit the nail on the head. These cruel RX companies do exactly that. They change the formula. They need to outlaw that nonsense. Just so, not because we want them to fail, because people can't afford their medicine, for God's sakes.
No, he's a dreamer.
I am a dreamer. Drug patients used to be a lot longer. Bush 2 changed that to a shorter term when they enacted the Medicare RX plan system. So there's precedent to change the patent terms again. Puckwall. Do you know Puckwall? That's with a P. Puckwall.
Hey, how you doing?
When Commander Connor shows up, does the studio smell like victory? My phone does, and it didn't kill me to hit the like button. Thank you. It won't kill you. Would it kill you to hit the like? And I guess Ed knows Puckwall. They sound like old friends. Hey, Puckwall, what's up? Welcome. If you come into this chat often, you become an honorary member of the Vic Porcelli Show, Rumble Chatbox Union Local 1019, and I'm the business manager. So that's the story.
And you're a Vic head, too.
Yeah. Ken said literally. Did you say literally?
Literally?
Yeah, I did. I did. I said literally.
Was it literal?
Yes, it was,
Okay,
actually.
It's fine. You can say it if it's right.
But, yeah, I don't like saying it anyway, though.
Vic and Ken. Ken is a Chinese asset. Vic eats Chinese food.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Vic, comedy is hard. Gutfeld has writers. Vic, if you pay well, several of us could be your writers.
Ooh, I'd like that.
Yeah, if we had the money. 101 comedy is still hard. Yeah. Hiya, Cinderfer and everybody in Cinderfer are going to be together today.
I don't know if I want people thinking I'm a Chinese asset, though.
No. We can find another word. Ken. Ken. I don't know how to think about it. We'll find something without asset.
Okay.
I just finished cutting my grass before the major heat. A stupid bug flew right up my nose. Ooh, I hate that. Thing crawled around in my sinus, driving me nuts. But I was almost finished, so I waited until I was done.
Oh, no.
And I could get to a paper towel to get rid of it.
That's horrible.
It's like it crawls into your brain.
You hear it buzzing.
It crawls into your brain.
Yeah.
It's like the COVID test.
I've never had that happen, but man, I can
touches your
imagine.
brain. I've had a bug fly right in my eye. You ever had a bug fly right in your eye?
No.
I hate you. I swear to God.
No.
I just finished cutting my grass. I did that one already. I waited until I was done. The dragonflies will be happy now, and the birds.
By the way, I love dragonflies. I think they're amazing.
We
were on the water. We did a lot of float tripping with my kids when they were little, and we're on a canoe, and my daughter was really afraid of a dragonfly. So I said, no, Abby, they're friendly. We love them. They don't hurt you. And I put my finger up, and a dragonfly flew right on my damn finger.
Did it bite you?
No.
So you were right.
And I'm standing there. I'm like, I was torn because I had to act normal in front of my daughter, but I was like, this is amazing. I wish we had a camera.
Ken, I got to tell you, my connection to nature in my head was having a bird sit on your finger. It's like, in New Jersey, there's not a hall. Bloomfield, New Jersey was not opportunities for a bird to sit on your finger.
I gotcha.
So that's why I loved when we got our bird, Larry Bird. And he loved it too, because if you walked by his cage, he'd start lifting his foot right away.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Wanted to be on your finger. And then you had to rub the back of his neck because he loved that. He's like, oh my God, that feels so good. And Larry's dead now. Larry Bird.
Yeah, the green one?
Yes.
He's green?
Yes.
Larry?
And he was a bird. Like the Celtics, Larry Bird. Okay. What determines when the statute applies? Legal stuff, I don't know. The reason they did not destroy burn bags is because they didn't count on Trump winning the election.
See, I agree with that. That's my feeling right there, man. Yep. Thank you. That's good.
New scum. It's a
Whoosh.
joke. It's a joke, you damn turd ass hat. What are you watching?
We in these hot ass streets, honey.
Hey, what are you watching? Apparently, they're not watching Vic's movies. What the hell? I'm watching Democrats have meltdowns. Great show.
I want to keep up with this. What are you watching? Because I think it's a great little segment.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah.
But I just don't watch TV enough.
Yeah. That's because you do things that are constructive.
Not really.
I don't. I used to ride my horse through the orange groves. I grew up in Florida, Every once in a while, I'd run into a banana spider web stretched across 2 rows of trees. They get big.
They get huge, yes.
The Great Subway Sling Meltdown. What a maroon. You bad ice officer. I'm going to hurt you with my libtard Subway sandwich.
This is taking forever.
Oh, better watch out. What does that mean? Oh, God, I'm sorry. Thanks, guys. I'm sorry. It's Ken's fault that we didn't get that.
Get me out of here!
All right. Wheel of Audio Clips is next. On 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Listen to that guitar right there. Wheel of Audio next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Number 1 for live and local conservative talk.
Then my only worry was the Christmas, what would be my dog.
Follow us on Rumble at News Talk STL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Say it with me. DJ Broadway. Sneaking out the back door. Hang up with those hoodlum friends of mine.
On News Talk STL. Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Producer Joey V here, and Friday we're going to be taking a look back at some of the best segments Tim and Chris produced while over in Israel.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
Jamie Allman here with the Allman Report. Pleased to be with Jordan Rosenblum. Google the bagel loan. That's what it's all about. Jordan, tell me about purchasing a home, brother.
Purchasing a home right now, it's a tough market. You're going to see a lot of competition. On the bagel loan that we have, you're going to have no closing costs, no title fees, no appraisal fees, no lender fees. Saves an average client almost $4,000 on a transaction. Customer service, unbelievable. Text, call anytime.
As I know, as a real estate agent, Google the bagel loan. Google the bagel loan, folks.
NMLS number 226715.
Simply Health with Dr. Brian Deloney.
Make sure you tune in this weekend because we're really going to dig into how do you fix that fatigue. And it's not just that, how I worked too hard or didn't get enough sleep, but it's that deep sort of tiredness that's just dragging, that exhaustion that coffee can't fix. How do you fix it? What do you need to do? And really, how do you just start living life to the full?
Simply Health, Saturdays at noon on News Talk STL. To find out more about Simply Health Integrated Medical, log on to simplyhealthintegrated.com.
Hi, Mark Harder here. We all know that the hardest part of staying healthy is dragging yourself to the gym. I felt the same way, but I knew I needed to find a routine I could actually stick to. I recently discovered Alloy Personal Training, and I have been blown away by their approach. At Alloy, each session is different. They never have more than 6 people in a class, which allows me to get the attention I need. Right now, Alloy is giving away free 14-day trials with 2 locations in Baldwin and 1 in Wildwood. Visit alloypersonaltraining.com. Hope to see you in my next session.
Hey, firearms enthusiast, looking for a family and veteran-owned shop with a wide selection of products and services? Head to DG Firearms, 115 Business Highway 61 North in Bowling Green. DG Firearms has been your one-stop shop for custom ARs, Cerakoting, laser engraving, gunsmithing, suppressors, ammo, and reloading supplies. DG Firearms, 115 Business Highway 61 North in Bowling Green, and online at dgfirearmsllc.com.
McGuire Moving is Silver certified, which means they are great at relocating senior citizens. In fact, McGuire is a household name because McGuire understands the stress involved when moving older adults. So if you or family members need help moving, I highly recommend McGuire Moving. 314-241-0600. 241-0600. Get a free in-home estimate. McGuireMoving.com.
I was lying on the grass a Sunday morning of last week, indulging in my self-defeat.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Turbocharge turbocharge the emerging global clean energy economy.
On News Talk STL.
Total ass face. Oh, are we back on?
Yeah, we're back on.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Okay, just want to make sure.
You've been forgetting, not realizing the microphone's on today.
Jeff just said not to cuss on this here radio.
You better stop cussing on this.
Don't you cuss on this here radio.
I never heard that ever before in my life.
In your whole
Okay,
life.
shut up. Let's just go. Let's go to the Wheel of Audio Clips.
Wheel of Audio Clips!
It's America's favorite game show, the Wheel of Audio Clips. Here's the host of Wheel of Audio Clips, Vic Porcelli.
Thank you, Jim Mosman, very much. Thank you, studio audience. Hey, ladies, how you doing? Look, they're all taking up their bras and throwing them at Ken.
No, they're not.
Okay, so the Wheel of Audio Clips is basically a look back on the week and some of the audio clips that we heard and would like another listen to. Is that fair?
That's fair.
All right, take all the clips, we put them on the wheel, we spin the wheel, wherever it lands, that's what we listen to. Ken, give that wheel a spin, buddy. There we go. Oh, pink sugar. Oh, so, yeah, all right, here we go. Yeah, that's fine.
Idiot.
It's these are your words, right? When you write on these,
Yeah, every once in a while.
Can I read your words?
Yeah.
Fat Cat J.B. Pritzker mocks Edward Kornstein, better known as Big Balls, right?
Right.
After he got beat up in perfectly safe Washington, D.C., protecting his girlfriend.
Our federal workers don't deserve to have some 19-year-old Doge bro called Big Balls destroy their careers.
Doge bro named Big Balls. I mean, the guy was hurt.
Is that it? That's the whole cut?
Yeah, that's it.
That's all you have to
That
say?
is the only thing.
I mean, I don't even understand how that incident happened because DC is perfectly safe. Perfect.
I know. Perfectly.
I swear to God.
There's nothing
First of
in
all,
between there.
have you noticed that Chuck Schumer, he hunches a lot.
Mhm.
His shoulders are up and his head is down. His hands are, he looks like Nosferatu, you know? The old Dracula guy.
Yeah.
All right, spin the wheel. Nosferatu Schumer, they can call him. Okay. Here we go. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
perfect,
okay.
perfect. Vice President J.D. Vance talking about if you invest in America, you're going to get rewarded. If not, not so much.
The basic idea is very simple. If you are investing in America, if you're building a new facility, building a new factory, we're going to reward you for it. If you're investing outside of this country, if you're trying to cheat and bring foreign product to undercut the wages of American workers and American businesses, then you're going to pay a very stiff penalty. That principle is what now drives the American economy, and people can make their own decisions. Yeah, you can make it overseas if you want, as the president said, but you're going to pay a big fat tariff before you access America's market, so you might as well build it right here at home.
I mean, it's so.
What
It
is
is so
unfair
simple.
about that? Right, Ken, it is. It's so simple. And what is unfair about it? I don't understand.
Well, it's so funny because everybody else had tariffs against the United States for decades, and they were fine. They were fine making all that money. But now that the United States has decided, you know what, guys, we're going to make some money too, and they said, that's bad. That you're a bad person for even thinking about that.
And I swear to God, the strategy of the Democrat Party is just fight Trump.
That's
Doesn't
all
matter.
it is.
We're going to fight Trump. And it's not like we're figuring anything out. They say those words. We have to fight Trump.
In the streets and anywhere else. I mean, think about this. I wanted to mention this about the resistance, by the way, because they all say resistance 2.0. Let's resist Trump no matter what. No matter what you're doing in your life, resist him, right? Well, Trump's winning. I mean, I don't know if they realize it, but all this resistance
Yeah.
is not really working.
And people understand that their lives are better. Their lives sucked under Joe Biden. And now it's better. I wonder why. New president. Oh, Donald J. Trump.
Right.
All right, spin the wheel. See how many more we can fit in here on a Friday. Have I mentioned I really, really like Fridays?
I think you have mentioned in passing.
Okay. So ICE agents are doing their job. They're not the devil. And can I just say something just because I just thought of it just a second?
Yeah.
Anna Navarro has now done the absolute worst thing one human can do to another human. Gloria Estefan, remember Gloria Estefan, the Miami Sound Machine?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
She is going to get a Kennedy Award.
Nice.
From President Trump. So she can't do that.
Why?
Because it's President Trump. And Ana Navarro says, don't do it. Don't take your award. You know what?
Forget you.
You. How dare she say that?
Terrible. That's awful. Oh, because, well, everybody else should sacrifice, for the greater good. Now, did anybody ask Ana Navarro to shut her mouth or do something that maybe would benefit everybody?
Right.
No.
Right.
No.
You're right. But it's also, Miami Sound Machine, my God, huge hit, right? Everybody do the conga, big longer. Remember that big old hit she had?
Oh, yeah.
So I would say way more, let's say 6 people out of 10 have heard of Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine.
Oh, yeah.
I'll bet you 1 out of 10 have heard of Ana Navarro.
If that many.
So shut your face and let the woman take her award and win her award.
Yes.
God. Okay. Spin the wheel.
Well, did we do?
Oh, we didn't play it, did we?
No, we didn't.
We just talked about it all that time?
Janine Pirro? We didn't play Janine Pirro.
Oh, right. ICE agents. So the ICE agents are doing their job, and some guy, a very dangerous weapon, Ken.
Yeah.
He threw a very dangerous weapon like it was going to do anything to an ICE agent, and then we'll tell you who that was.
The president's message to the criminals was, if you spit, we hit. Well, we didn't quite do that the other night when an individual went up to one of the federal law enforcement officers and started jumping up and down, screaming at him, berating him, yelling at him. And then he took a Subway sandwich and took it and threw it at the officer. He thought it was funny. Well, he doesn't think it's funny today because we charged him with a felony, assault on a police officer. And we're going to back the police to the hilt. So there. Stick your Subway sandwich somewhere else.
That's
Whoa.
right.
So a couple things here. First of all, the guy who threw the sandwich is a crazy left-wing attorney in the current Department of Justice.
Yes.
Got to go. He did go. Gone.
Yeah, I think, these people are so on edge and so actually crazy. They're going to out themselves because he couldn't take it anymore. I don't know if you saw any of the video or if there were pictures. I know there were pictures that were side by side, and he was walking by. He had a sandwich in his hand. He was getting a sandwich to go home.
Yeah.
And he saw it. He could not control himself.
Right.
He had to go up and start antagonizing the ICE agent. And then the ICE agent, of course, they're going to stand there and take it because that's the way they are. But you know what? It pissed him off so much. He's like, you know what? I can't. What else can I do? Okay, I'm going to throw a sandwich.
Yeah. And they ran him down.
And they ran him down. And you know what? They need to put a stop to this. And that's the only way it's going to happen is to charge these people.
And, why did he also threaten to scratch your eyes out? I mean, who throws a sandwich? So he's been fired, but it just goes to show you how big and how deep the federal government is and how it just needs to be shrunk, Ken.
It does.
Shrunken.
Down.
Shranked.
Shrunk down. Shrank
Spin
down.
the wheel. Get me out of this. Oh, thank you so much. I can't talk about that. But, and I revert back to Tyrus, big scary Tyrus. When they asked who scares you the most, he said Janine Pirro.
Oh, yeah.
When she says my name, I pee a little bit. Because she's a beast. In a good way. So Chuck Schumer says, I'll say it one more time, that Chuck Schumer said that D.C. is perfectly safe.
Perfectly.
Let's see what this D.C. resident has to say.
We need all the protection that we can get in the city because the city is really getting dangerous. A person like me at this age, I have to make sure to come home before sundown.
I think that lady thinks that John Henry signed a Declaration of Independence.
No, you fool.
Well, who was John Henry then?
He was a steel driving man.
Thank you, Ken Williams. Spin the wheel. Let's get the heck out of here.
Let's do one more.
One more.
Okay.
No, you fool. You know what's great about that story is half of it is 100% true, and then the back end totally made up.
Right.
That's what it's like living with me. All right. Thank you so much, Wheel. Thank you. You wheel spinners. You can sit down now. It's President Donald John Grover Cleveland Trump.
This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. Today, we're declaring public safety emergency in the District of Columbia. And Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's fantastic, is taking command of the Metropolitan Police Department. In addition, I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly. You want to have safety in the streets. You want to be able to leave your apartment or your house where you live and feel safe and go into a store to buy a newspaper or buy something. And you don't have that now.
All right. Oh, we're doing something about it now. You don't like it? Move. You know what? Go walk around with Schumer because he thinks D.C. is perfectly safe.
That's exactly right. And you'll be able to take advantage of his security.
Right. All right, so let's have we have for the Wheel of Audio Clips. This is Vic Porcelli saying, please help control the liberal population. Have your liberals spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody. Ken, can I just read a couple of chat box things just real quick?
Yeah.
Vic and Ken. Ken can play chopsticks. Vic tries to use chopsticks.
I like that one.
Can you eat with chopsticks?
Oh, yeah.
I can't.
It's fun for me because we go and get sushi up the street from our house.
Yeah.
And chopsticks are part of the fun.
I just stick my fork in there.
Do you? Okay.
It's very American.
And that works too.
The whole thing.
Yeah, it works. I stick the chopstick in there.
And then Cinderford
Stab
said, this one's for you, Kenny. It came right to you. It says, Kenny, go Nadler.
She got it. Okay, thank you.
Go Nadler.
Go Nadler.
Go Nadler. Go Nadler.
Go Nadler.
It's your birthday.
It's your birthday.
They had to make fun of him when he was a kid, right?
Yeah, they did.
They had to call him Gonad.
They had to.
Gonad boy.
Come on now. Okay, imagine that. Some geek in your class.
Yes.
And you got to figure out a name for him. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
What's your name? What's your last name?
Nadler? Oh, my
It's
God.
Nadler. My name's Nadler.
My name's Nadler.
Gonad. You're a Gonad. That's how that would start, right?
That's exactly how it would start.
Hey, thanks so much for having the record player on at night to listen to us this morning.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
And Jamie Allman is next with the 3 martini lunch. And, I don't
award-winning show.
Yeah, award-winning show. And I don't know exactly when, where I should be in my martini consumption. He'll let you know.
He'll let us know.
You should be 2.5 in, so right down to the last sip.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
See you Monday.
Thanks for being here.
Sooner or later I'll be clocking in again. Someday I'll be able to forget my working day. Life will be grim because the ship is coming in. Everything will go my way and I won't ever see it on the weekend. Here come the weekend. Here come the weekend. My working week's so tough, I think I've had enough until the weekend. Here come the weekend. Here come the weekend. Here come the weekend.
Listen anytime.
It happens
Anywhere. Everywhere.
Every day continues to bring more news.
With the Newstalk STL app. Keep St. Louis's home for conservative talk with you wherever you go. Download the Newstalk STL app in the App Store or at newstalkstl.com.
Tony Colombo here for Gutter Pros, your all-in-one gutter service team that brings years of experience and quality that's affordable right to your doorstep. We discovered Gutter Pros a few years ago when we bought our home and inherited a gutter issue that was on the road to becoming a potentially big problem, but thanks to Gutter Pros was stopped before causing any major damage. They've also repaired the siding on our home because along with gutter repair, gutter installation, and leaf protection, the Gutter Pros are also the best for siding repair and installation. Learn about all the ways Gutter Pros can help your home at gutterpros.com.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness One. Wellness One is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on NewstalkSTL. And you can visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
Chris Arps here, and after Becky and I leave church on Sunday, we head down the street to Capriotti's to grab a classic meatball sub. And of course, for dessert, I get a giant chocolate chip cookie. I love Capriotti's, and you will too.
On Manchester at McKnight in Rock Hill.
During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places you can't control. Between payroll, your home office, your tax preparer, and the IRS, if your W-2 gets exposed, That's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now.